Hello and welcome to Clark Athletic Center Field for the first of two historic Little East Conference Championship games here on the campus of UMass Boston. It's the biggest weekend in UMass Boston fall history, maybe the biggest weekend in UMass Boston program history. Three Beacons teams hosting Little East Conference Championships. The first game pits the women's team of Keene State College versus the women's team of UMass Boston. The 2012 champs versus the 2013 champs. The first time since 2005 the Little East Conference will have back-to-back champions facing off for a chance to play in the NCAA tournament. The second-seeded UMass Boston Beacons, who won the title back in 2012, looking for their second-ever title. On the other side, Denise Lyons and this very talented Keene State College team looking to defend their title as the Owls go for title number 4 in the Little East Conference. My name is Seth Orensky, joined by my stellar crew, Charles LaPaglia and Brian Fiella, as we are 1 minute and 20 seconds away from the introductions of today's huge game between these two sides. Two teams that fell behind 1-0 in their Little East Conference semifinal games and found a way to come back. The Beacons made it easy, a 5-2 victory here on their home field on Thursday against third-ranked Eastern Connecticut State. Keene State went to the limit all the way into penalty kicks, advancing by top-seeded Western Connecticut State 3-2. Not only do we have a matchup of the past two championships, these two coaches go way back. Denise Lyons in her 22nd season, well, she's the former head coach of the Beacons, 10th-year head coach, Amy Zombek. Zombek, a 4-year player, an all-conference player, former Little East Conference Player of the Year, and an all-region player back in 1998. She spent her first 4 years as a coach on the sidelines at Keene State, and she'll look to defeat her alma mater for the second time in 3 years as the Beacons took down Keene State in the 2012 Little East Conference semifinals. Keene State dominates the all-time series, but we'll talk about that in a minute. As first, we'll check out the team stats for these two very high-scoring Little East Conference sides. UMass Boston, the top team in the Little East Conference at 2.50 goals per game. Keene State not far behind, averaging just under 2 goals a game. The senior goaltenders on these sides have been phenomenal. Tori Crenson, a second-team all-conference player a year ago, a huge penalty kick save against Western Connecticut State to send her team through. Dani Perkins hasn't started since her freshman year, has been very, very clutch for UMass Boston, filling in for Krista Ledin, the first-team all-conference goalie last year for the Beacons, as Perkins won her first 6 decisions, including a big win over Keene State College back on October 18th. Looking at the shots per game, both of these teams are going to get their chances, as now we'll look at our players to watch. First, for UMass Boston, it's the senior midfielder Erica Garufi. Garufi, who scored the game-winning goal against Keene State the first time around in the 78th minute, rather, as Garufi helped UMass Boston come back from a 2-1 deficit. The former Stony Brook University Seawolf, a Division I player, has been very strong over the past couple of games. 2 goals and 3 assists. 6 of her 8 goals, which puts her third on the team, have come here at home. She's been a tremendous addition over the past 2 years for head coach Amy Zombek. On the other side, it's really not hard to pick out the player to watch, Tori Crenson. If this game goes to penalty kicks, there's no goalie in the conference that you'd rather have on your side than Tori Crenson, second-team all-conference player last year in her first year as a starter, 6-5-1, .96 goals against average. This year, she's already stopped 2 big penalty kicks against Western Connecticut State. The first put her team in the spot to defeat Western Connecticut State up in Keene. The second helped her team go through against Western Connecticut State in the semifinals. She posted back-to-back shutouts a year ago en route to a Keene State Little East Conference Tournament Championship. Looking at the all-time series now, Keene State took the first 15 meetings between these two sides from 1997 to 2011. Since then, UMass Boston has had their way with the Owls. The Beacons 4-0-1. That one loss was in penalty kicks back in 2011, the Little East Conference semifinals, with Keene State, the home team, advancing. But the Beacons have won 4 in a row, outscoring Keene State by a 14-4 margin. Won in the Little East Conference semifinals in 2012 by a 3-0 score. The last 2 meetings, identical 3-2 scores with Krista Ledin. The Beacons all American or former All-American and 3-time Little East Conference Offensive Player to be, scoring 2 goals in the victories. As these two teams meeting for the 3rd time in postseason play, looking around the rest of Beaconville, won't be the last time UMass Boston and Keene State plays today. The number 1 men's soccer team playing in their first ever title game, going up against the most storied program in the Little East Conference, Keene State, looking for their conference best 7th championship. The Beacon's number 1 seeded volleyball team hosts Western Connecticut State at noon. Keene State's 2nd seeded volleyball team will try to get back into the LEC title game against UMass Boston for the 3rd consecutive season when they take on Eastern Connecticut State, the 3rd seed, at 2 p.m. Finishing off the day, and it's going to be a busy one here on the campus of UMass Boston, the women's hockey team will host Plymouth State in the Beacon's ECAC East home opener. Folks, it's going to be a thrilling day here. UMass Boston didn't know they were going to host this conference championship game until about 10 o'clock. The Beacons thrilled to be playing on their home field. 8-0-2 this year at the Clark Athletic Center field. They've scored 34 goals versus just 11 goals allowed. The Beacon senior class, 4 losses in 4 years here at home. Just 2 of those to conference opponents. 1 back in their freshman year to Western Connecticut State, and then last year falling to Eastern Connecticut State in the Little East Conference semifinals, as UMass Boston has dominated here at home. Keene State looking for a championship for the 2nd year in a row. This is their 13th trip to the Little East Conference championship game. They haven't always come out on the right side, as they're just 3-8 all time, as this is their 12th rather than 13th meeting. We're going to take a brief break for the national anthem and be back with the starters and the first touch of today's contest. And welcome back to the Clark Athletic Center field. My name is Seth Dorensky, bringing you both ends of today's Little East Conference Championship Soccer doubleheader. First, the starters for the visiting Keene State Owls. They'll start with Alex Haley, a senior midfielder out of Laconia, New Hampshire. 2-time All-Little East Conference player, a first-team member as a junior, second team as a sophomore. 92 career games, 14 goals, 25 points. She's had 4 goals and 10 points, good for tied for 4th on the team, making her 22nd start of the year. Taylor Farland's the go-to scorer on Keene State, a freshman out of Fiskdale, Massachusetts. Her 11 goals, good for 4th best in the conference, first on the team. Her 23 points, first on the team, 5th best in the Little East. She's got 4 game-winning goals and 3 goals in 8 games against LEC opponents. Hasn't been as strong in the conference. Kate Piersack, the senior back out of Medfield, Massachusetts, making her 19th start. Jennifer Wilson, the junior back out of Plymouth, Massachusetts. She was the most outstanding player of last year's tournament, making her 23rd start of the year. She's a game changer, 5 assists this year from the back line. Maggie Grayson, the senior midfielder out of Sugar Hill, Georgia. She played at Division II champion College of St. Rose as a freshman. 19 games as a junior, 1 goal, 21 shots. Brittany Tola, sophomore midfielder out of Newtown, Connecticut, 6 goals as a freshman. This year she has 3 goals and 4 assists in 21 starts. Rebecca Costello, the sophomore midfielder out of Meriden, Connecticut. In 22 games as a sophomore, 2 goals and 3 assists. She missed her entire freshman year last year after tearing her ACL as a high school senior. Kaylee Santino, a freshman midfielder out of West Chesterfield, New Hampshire, former MVP at Keene High School, 14 games this year, 2 assists and 3 shots. Beverly Cole, who had a huge successful penalty kick on Thursday, the senior midfielder out of Madbury, New Hampshire. 3 goals, 4 assists, 10 points, and 21 starts this year. A big-time scorer, but just 1 point on the road. Marissa Costello added on the roster midway through the year. In fact, against UMass Boston, made her first start of the year. 8 starts, 1 assist, and 5 shots. And in net, of course, it's Tori Crenson, the senior out of North Salem, New York, making her 19 start of the year, 20 overall games, 10-6-1. Her 4 shutouts, tied for second in the conference. 74 saves versus just 18 goals against. Third in the LEC with her 1.09 goals against average. Second in the conference with her .804 save percentage. For UMass Boston, it's the same group they put out there on Thursday. Kara Peters, the junior midfielder out of Agawam, joined by Elisa Brooks, who had the Beacons' go-ahead goal, her first goal on the team as she transferred out of San Diego Mesa College. Erica Garufi, our player to watch, the senior midfielder, former Stony Brook player, joined by Cassie Levesque, making her second career start as a Beacon. Overall, 20 appearances. She'll be starting as an outside back with Brittany Castillo potentially able to go today, but not in the starting lineup. Marina Kelly, the freshman midfielder out of Whitman, Massachusetts, one of 3 players really up for contention for the Little East Conference Rookie of the Year. She's been phenomenal this year, 5th in the conference with 9 goals, tied for 1st in the conference with her 10 assists and 28 total points as Keene State in the red has a chance just outside the box. Ball sent in on Dani Perkins, picks it up on one bounce off of that semi-shot there from Alex Haley. Amanda Pugliese, the senior midfielder out of Pembroke, Massachusetts, one of 6 seniors on this team, and just 5 players who were on the 2012 Little East Conference Championship side for UMass Boston. Pugliese this year, 4 goals, 4 assists, her 12 points good for 4th on the team. Krista Ledin, well, Ledin's done about everything you can possibly do as a forward at the Division III level. Top 10 in NCAA Division III history with her 104 career goals, amongst the top 15 with her 239 career points. The 2-time Little East Conference Offensive Player of the Year, has led the conference in scoring all 4 years. This season, she's got 23 goals, 10 assists, and 56 points, and she's not just a scorer. Her 31 assists, good for 1st in program history. Hannah Peterson, the very speedy outside back for UMass Boston, gets the start. Freshman back out of Plymouth, Massachusetts. Natasha Stebor didn't show up in the scoring column on Thursday, had a phenomenal game. Junior out of San Francisco, California, San Francisco City College. Hasn't scored in 8 games. We'll see if she can make an impact today as it's Ledin turns around, shot just a little bit high over the crossbar there as Tori Crenson didn't even flinch. Sam Bendick, the junior back out of New Egypt, New Jersey, making her 2nd career start at center back with senior Brittany Castillo, a little bit banged up after last Saturday's game at Rhode Island College. Bendick making her 57th appearance, 20 starts this year, 4 shots. And then in net, it's Dani Perkins. Perkins, who had 14 wins as a freshman, helped the Beacons team all the way to the ECAC New England semifinals this season, and making her 16th start, 10-1-3, 4.5 shutouts, 63 saves versus 18 goals allowed. She's 5th in the conference in goals against average at 1.21 and 6th in save percentage as that ball is over the line, and it'll go for a goal kick. UMass Boston sporting their white home uniforms with blue stripes on the shoulders. Keene State in their road reds with the white numbers. The Beacons going from left to right on your computer screen, or if you're hooked up to your TV, on your TV screen. My name is Seth Orensky, joined by our phenomenal crew. We have one more to add. Steve Consiglio will be helping out in any way he can, working the team camera, obviously helping whichever team advances past today's game, and doing a little bit of additional scouting for their first-round NCAA tournament game. The winner of today's game will make the NCAA Division III tournament. The Beacons looking for their 2nd ever appearance. Keene State looking for their 4th appearance, although Keene State, a former Division II school, has appeared in the NCAA Division II tournament, but they transferred down to the Division III level back in 1997 and have been a powerhouse in the Little East Conference under head coach Denise Lyons. That ball cleared into the Beacons' end. Brooks loses her feet. Perkins comes out, and she gets run over by Brooks, and Brooks is still down at the top of the box, picked up by Amanda Pugliese, as Brooks is slow to get up, and Pugliese will clear it out as Brooks took out Perkins. Both players slow to get up as Brooks is going to be attended to by the head referee. Perkins is still clutching her knees. Perkins came way out after Brooks lost her footing. This field has seen a lot of rain between last Saturday and Thursday. The grounds crew did as much work as they possibly could, but it's still not in the greatest condition. Robert O'Derna is the head referee. Alp Golden is the assistant, and John Jordan is the second assistant for today's Little East Conference Championship game. Keene State once again working the goal line and unable to keep it in on the far side. 40 minutes and 25 seconds to go in this very chilly first half. A 10:30 start due to the men's game starting at 1:30. Daylight saving time is not helping out anyone this afternoon as the Beacons do not have lights on this field, so have to be able to allot enough time for not only potentially overtime and penalty kicks in game number 1, but penalty kicks and overtime in game number 2. As we would have 2 10-minute overtime sessions, and then the game would be decided in penalty kicks. Haven't gone to penalty kicks on the women's side since 2010. As Keene State working with it, it's controlled by Piersack. Piersack to the near side, leaving it off for Santino. Santino tripped up there by Peterson. Peterson ahead for Garufi. Garufi with Ledin double team. Then Garufi's going to keep it herself, leaving across, looking for a charging Kelly. Kelly's not going to get there in time, and it's controlled there by a center back for the Owls. Pass to the near side, looking once again for Santino. Santino is stripped of it by Peterson. Peterson's pass intercepted, intended for Kelly. Given right back, it's over to Peters. Peters up top to Ledin, who's surrounded by a sea of red. Over to Garufi now. Garufi's so good on 1v1 opportunities through the legs of Piersack, but Piersack does a nice job of not allowing Garufi through, and it's cleared out of bounds. It's Peterson. Has the ability to create some opportunities with their long throws, but this one intended for Marina Kelly is sent over the goal line and out of bounds, and we'll see a goal kick upcoming. And the first meeting between these two sides back on October 18th, Krista Ledin gave the Beacons an early 1-0 lead, but it was Keene State who took the next lead. Shannon Summers at 26:50, Taylor Farland scoring at 67:03. The Beacons looked like they might be dropping their first home game of the season. And Krista Ledin came back in the 75th minute. Erica Garufi added on the game-winning goal from an impossible angle just off the goal line in the 78th minute, and the Beacons rallied for a 3-2 win. UMass Boston comes into today's game 11-4-5, 6-1 in the Little East. Their lone loss at Western Connecticut State. Keene State 13-8-1, 5-2 in conference. As it's Peterson looking to make a cross. Peterson across the goal mouth, but no one's there on the backside, as that one almost had a chance to go in. Peterson looking for the pass, but just as Erica Garufi did a couple of weeks ago, almost found herself a goal. The freshman out of Plymouth, Massachusetts, who was a prolific goal scorer at Plymouth North High School. A two-time Atlantic Coast All-Star, as the goal kick is sent about midway through over to Maggie Grayson. Ball is loose. Kelly fighting for it. Ledin comes back, sends a ball forward for Garufi. Garufi is going to have to track that one down just outside the box, working 1v1, and she'll send it off of Piersack and out of bounds for the Beacons' first corner kick of the game. 37-18 remaining in the first half. It'll be Amanda Pugliese, the Beacons' designated corner kick taker, to take it. The Beacons, who had struggled on set pieces all season long, got a penalty kick goal from Krista Ledin in their win over Eastern Connecticut State, and then it was Pugliese's free kick headed in by Elisa Brooks that gave the Beacons a 2-1 lead. Short corner headed over to Peterson. Shot from Ledin just over the bar, as Krista Ledin with the first great look of today's championship game. Peterson had all kinds of pressure, a perfect ball into the box. It hit Ledin in the right foot, and she sent it just over the bar. Crenson didn't have time to leap for it, and all Ledin had to do was send it off the bottom part of the bar and in. Ledin with 2 looks already for the two-time Little East Conference Player of the Year. 104 goals to her name, tied for 10th in NCAA Division III women's history. Sure, she'll get at least one more today, as Ledin has been a thorn in the Owls' side. Pugliese comes up with a steal amongst 2 red shirts, still fighting for it. Chancel on the goal line. It's over the line. Pugliese fighting for the corner, and she'll get it. So a smart play there by Amanda, who let that one go out, really didn't have an angle. So Pugliese went short corner to Peterson the first time. Looks like we're going to get a different look as Peterson is much farther back this time at midfield. Pugliese has Brooks on the far side. That's where she looked the last time. We'll see if Brooks is manned up as she heads towards the net, and backing up to cover her is Marissa Costello. This time it's a very short, poorly taken corner by Pugliese. It's going to come way out. Keene State fighting for the counter as Peters is pushed off the ball. Controlled by the Owls, sent forward. It's a chance for 1v1. Farland versus Peterson, and a nice job by Cassandra Levesque to get back and help out Peterson. A pair of freshmen starting in today's conference championship game for the Beacons on the back line. Marina Kelly, the third freshman in the starting lineup. She is manhandled a bit there by the Owls, and she'll draw the free kick right at midfield. Kelly, who will be playing for the women's basketball team here at UMass Boston, is hoping that she has at least one more game with the Beacons after today before starting her women's basketball career. The basketball team starts next Saturday at Colby College. Kelly would love to be with these women's soccer players for at least one more week. Next weekend, the first round of the NCAA tournament. Win 2 games, you head to the Sweet 16, win 2 more, and you're headed to Kansas City for the Final Four. Both of these sides realize they need a victory today to have any chance. Western Connecticut State, the only regionally ranked team in the Little East Conference. They were bounced by Keene State in the semifinals. The Colonials still with a chance to get an at-large bid. UMass Boston is known for at least a month that it's win the Little East Conference or go home. As the throw-in from Garufi for Ledin. Ledin's not going to get there. Controlled by Jennifer Wilson. Wilson, the most outstanding player of last year's tournament. And Ledin will throw the ball back on the throw into Peterson. Peterson, a couple players in the box, looking for Kelly backside, and Pugliese can't get there as Tori Crenson will watch that one go by for another goal kick for Keene State. So after a couple of decent looks early for Keene State, UMass Boston's controlled the ball as of late. 33-45 to go here in the first half. The last 4 Little East Conference Championship games on the women's side have been decided by 1 goal or less. The 2010 championship went to penalty kicks. The last 3, 1-0 games. UMass Boston took it home in 2012 by a 1-0 score thanks to Taylor Andrews' tremendous goal against Western Connecticut State. Last year it was Kristen Huckins, a senior for the Owls, who scored the game winner against Eastern Connecticut State. The Beacons looking to become the 5th consecutive second seed to win the Little East Conference Championship on the women's side. It's Kara Peters with it. Sends it ahead for Kelly. Kelly looking to play Ledin. Ledin unable to get there. A very nice header from Marissa Costello to break up that chance for UMass Boston. Controlled by Keene State just inside their own end. It's turned over. Peterson trying to send it forward for Ledin. Ledin constantly being man-marked by at least 1, if not 2 players by the Owls. Ledin used to those kind of tactics, though. Eastern Connecticut State sent several players after her all day long Thursday, still able to score 2 goals, including 1 penalty kick goal. Able to get around the first player, trying to get to that ball, able to play it past the second player. That time it's Wilson. Her attempted cross into the box for Kelly is knocked out of bounds. A nice job by Piersack to get in the way of that cross, and it will go for a long throw-in just next to the corner flag, and we'll see Hannah Peterson take it. Look for Peterson to try to get this one into the box. Marina Kelly, the Beacons' biggest target. She plays guard in basketball, but really she could be playing small forward with her size, close to 5'8", a stocky player as well. As that ball is cleared to the far side and just barely kept in by Keene State. A very nice play as the ball sent forward this time for Farland. Farland will give it right back. Give and go as the pass for Farland is a little bit too strong. Elisa Brooks is there. She'll clear it out of bounds over towards the Beacons bench. Just over half an hour remaining in the first half as that attempted shot is high and wide of Dani Perkins. UMass Boston was held scoreless for the first 33 minutes on Thursday in poor conditions against Eastern Connecticut State. Keene State fell behind 1-0 in the first half. It took them 67 minutes to score as it was Alex Haley with the equalizer. And then Keene State was able to score 3 of their 4 penalty kicks, whereas Western Connecticut State sent 2 wide. A third was saved by Tori Krenson, as Western Connecticut State, the top seed, falling 3-2. Now, Ledin's touch a little bit too strong, and the Beacons draw a free kick as Ledin's jersey was being tugged. It's a pretty large crowd right in front of us down on the bleachers. Keene State traveling well. Keene State playing in both championship games in soccer. The field hockey team up at Keene State, the top seed, will take on second-seeded UMass Dartmouth. That game at 2 p.m. up in New Hampshire, as Brooks will fake it, sending in is Kelly, but right off the body of an owl. And this one will be cleared out off the referee. Fortunate for Keene State that it bounces right back toward an owl. Now Kelly trying to track this one down. She will have to play it. No, we'll let it go out of bounds. A nice job of shielding off what looks like Ellen Granada. Granada not in the starting lineup originally given to us up top, but she's definitely in the game, number 9, as Garufi's touch a bit too strong. And a nice job by Jennifer Wilson to keep that one inbounds over to Granada. Garufi has that one go off of, it looked like off her foot, but the side referee giving Garufi the benefit of the doubt, as Peterson will look to throw it into the box. Ledin fighting off a defender. First touch over towards Kelly, and Kelly was offsides as she was battling against Kate Piersack, just a little bit behind. UMass Boston really stressed to their team that they needed to take advantage of early opportunities. The Beacons do have the best look of the day. It was Krista Ledin sending a Hannah Peterson pass just a little bit over the bar on a cross into the box. Keene State hasn't had many good looks as Garufi immediately getting that one in for Ledin. Ledin with the player on her back, and it is off of Piersack out of bounds. As Piersack and Ledin are, I'm not going to call them become good friends, but they're definitely going to get to know each other. That cross over towards the far side. Pugliese unable to get ahead on it. Tries to clear it into the box. A great sliding tackle to knock that one out of bounds. And that one might have been Beverly Cole, the New Hampshire Air National Guard member. Always impressive to see a student athlete not only be able to handle school and classes and being a member of a athletic team, but also volunteering their time to be a member of our armed forces, as Kelly can't quite get to that one. Bouncing around, controlled by Grayson. Grayson has it taken back by Kelly. Kelly's pass a little bit too far ahead of Garufi. Ledin providing pressure on Grayson. Grayson easily the tallest player on the field for either side. As Keene State looking to counter right now. It's controlled by Costello. Rebecca that time. As he cleared towards the box. Farland draws some contact from Elisa Brooks. Still controlled. It's Grayson to the near side for Granada. Grayson at 5'10". Taller than quite a handful of the players who will play in the men's game at 130. Pugliese unable to control the ball off that tackle. Cassandra Levesque looking to clear right off the body of a Keene State player. High shot this time will go wide off the foot of Rebecca Costello. As Keene State has looked to send some shots from outside. Dani Perkins has struggled this season with the high balls, but today should be a little bit easier for the senior keeper out of Marietta, California. As Thursday in the semifinals, both teams, Eastern Connecticut State and UMass Boston, were looking to send in some high shots because of the rain and the wind, hoping that the keeper might slip or the keeper might not be able to see the ball. Today that shouldn't be an issue. It's cold, but it's a gorgeous day for soccer. Temperatures in the high 40s. Chance in front. It's Farland. Farland can't get there, and it's Perkins, a diving play with Cassandra Levesque slowing down Farland just a bit. That is a huge play from Dani Perkins. Taylor Farland, the go-to scorer for this Keene State player, unable to get a touch inside the box as she was sprung one-on-one versus Perkins. Doesn't count as a save, but that's a moment to mark down in your scorebook. If looking back at this game, that could be a game changer. On the far side, Keene State playing it towards midfield, controlled by an owl, sent back into the owl's end, and Farland can't get a touch on that one as it's going to go out of bounds and be a Beacons throw-in. 26 minutes to play in today's Little East Conference Championship game first half, as Ledin able to shield off a defender, but a second center back is there to come away with the steal. Peterson playing it to the far side. That'll be over to the scorer's table, where our second statistician, Brian Dupree, makes a nice play to get up and get the ball right back into play, as it's Elisa Brooks clearing it back over to the scorer's table once again. First of 2 championship games this afternoon. 3 championship games on the weekend, as UMass Boston will be hosting tomorrow's Little East Conference Championship volleyball game, no matter who's in it. The Beacons volleyball team playing at noon today against Western Connecticut State. Keene State will play at 1:30, or will play at 2 rather, as they take on Eastern Connecticut State. Garufi trying to send it in for Ledin, gets it right back off the foot of Cole. Garufi fighting off a defender, and it's out of bounds off of Garufi this time. She can't believe it, as Piersack able to tap that one off of Garufi and out of bounds. First game between these two sides was very physical. Today's game has been a little bit cleaner, although Natasha Stebor was taken down behind the play on that one. The referee had his eyes forward, didn't see it. Stebor a little bit slow to get up, but she appears to be okay. Piersack sending it forward, but out of bounds, and the Beacons will get a throw in. Garufi to take it. Ledin with their back turned, and now they're going to send it back a few yards where Hannah Peterson will pick it up. Mentor versus mentee on the sidelines. Denise Lyons in her 22nd season. The former coach of Amy Zombeck, the Beacons' 10th-year head coach. Zombeck not only a 4-year player for the Owls, she was also a 4-year assistant coach. That's where she got her start. Zombeck looking to win her second tournament in 3 years. Lyons looking to win her 4th overall tournament and second in 2 years. Shot from Stebor, and it's right into the paws of Tori Crenson that time. Didn't get a lot on it, and Crenson was right there, as the Beacons able to create a couple of looks today off those long throw-ins from Hannah Peterson. Stebor upends a player. Now it's Bendick sending it forward, looking for Kelly. Kelly's the player who seems to be drawing almost as much attention as Ledin for UMass Boston, and another foul against Keene State just inside their own defensive end. Kelly certainly has the ability to boot this ball on net. We'll see if she looks for the pass instead, though. Or if she goes with the soft touch. If she's looking backside of the goal box, doesn't get all the way through. Ledin can't get a touch, and it's over the goal line for another goal kick. 23:15 to go in the first half. The two teams with only a smattering of chances, a smattering of shots. Taylor Farland almost was in one-on-one with Dani Perkins. Perkins coming way off her line to make a play. Krista Ledin sent a shot just over the crossbar, and most recently it was Natasha Stebor sending a soft shot right into the hands of Crenson from about 15 yards out. Peterson immediately in for Garufi. Garufi's first touch put right onto the foot of Piersack, who was not going to be fooled on that one. Now it's Haley unable to play it, but sent all the way forward for Brittany Tola. Tola is dispossessed. Levesque trying to find Ledin. Played over to Peters. Peters ahead for Ledin. Once again, it will be cleared out, this time by Jennifer Wilson, and out of bounds, as UMass Boston's had the better end of possession, pinning Keene State into their own end for much of this first half. The first game was much more wide open. Keene State came out as the aggressors. The Beacons fortunate to take a 1-0 lead on a very nifty goal from Krista Ledin, a strong finish. Keene State, though, tied it on a goal from Shannon Summers. And then they were able to take the lead in the 68th minute off of a long shot from Taylor Farland from about 24, 25 yards out off the left foot. Beacons got one back as Ledin once again went in one-on-one against Danielle Warhol. As Warhol got the start, that was the last start for Warhol this year, as Crenson has regained her starting position. And then the final goal from Erica Garufi. So Keene State has to take confidence that this time around they'll have Crenson in net. For UMass Boston, really the only difference in today's game versus the first one is not having Brittany Castillo, the senior, back in the starting lineup. Castillo's been so good for UMass Boston, a starter each of the past 3 seasons, as that attempted cross into the box from Peterson is way off the mark, and Crenson able to make the catch with no traffic around her. Castillo out of Yarmouth, Massachusetts, 78 career games, 64 starts. Had appeared in every game this year before Thursday. And now she'll come off the bench if she plays at all today, as the Beacons have a ton of confidence in Sam Bendick to fill that second center back position. And Cassandra Levesque has looked good this year as an outside back coming off the bench, making her second collegiate start. Throw in deep inside their own end for Keene State. I believe this one will be Piersack. Piersack over the head of a couple players. Peterson fighting for it. Sends Farland to the ground, and it'll be a Beacons throw-in. Peterson plays with the mean streak. A terrific forward in high school. Has been converted to an outside back this season after struggling to connect with Krista Ledin up top. And she has been phenomenal, providing some additional speed for UMass Boston on the back line. Alex Haley looking to clear, sending it forward, looking for Farland. Brooks first touch, able to control it, looking for Levesque, and it's just a bit too strong on the left-footed pass. As that time it was actually Tola, the intended recipient for Keene State. Tola and Farland have been the only two players even close to midfield for Keene State for much of this game. As if Keene State's going to get on the board, those two players need to be able not only to get some chances, but to control the ball and allow their teammates to get forward, as Keene State's keeping a lot of players behind the ball to deal with Krista Ledin, who scored 2 goals in each of her past 2 games against Keene State. 7 total goals in 6 games. As it's Garufi working against Granada. Granada pokes it away. Stebor now putting some pressure on Haley. Haley sends it forward for Tola, but it's out of bounds once again on the far side, as we're under 20 minutes to play now in half number 1. As I've mentioned earlier, just 1 goal in 4 of the past 5 Little East Conference Championship games. Back in 2010, the game was scoreless heading into penalty kicks, so don't expect a high-scoring game today, despite these high-scoring offenses, as Marina Kelly sends that through ball way too hard, and Cranston will come past their 6-yard block and pick that one up. As it's Kelly heading it backwards that time. Farland sending it forward, looking for Tola. Brooks will chip it away. Both of these defenses being very cautious, content to knock balls out of bounds rather than give chances. As we'll see a substitution for Keene State. Shannon Hart, the freshman midfielder out of Swansea, New Hampshire, making her 22nd appearance. 6 total starts, 3 goals and an assist. She checks in for Rebecca Costello. And we've got an infraction this time going against Natasha Stebor. As Keene State will get a free kick in decent position here. Probably about 35 yards out. As we'll try to get you the number on the recipient. It looks like it's going to be Jennifer Wilson, the 2013 Most Outstanding Player. Now Farland will come back. Farland does have 1 assist on the season. She might be looking to shoot here. Does have 1 long goal from distance against UMass Boston this year. This one would be much farther out. The Beacons with a 3-man wall. Farland sends a low line drive. It's off the foot and off the face of Haley. Haley still fighting for it. A nice diving play by Cassandra Levesque, and it's cleared out of bounds, and it will be off of UMass Boston. Haley's touch over to Beverly Cole. Cole sending it in. Chance for a shot, and a nice job by Garufi to get a body on Farland. Keene State player falls to the ground, and it's Hannah Peterson with it. Peterson trying to send it forward for Ledin. Ledin in a foot race, and she's got 2 players to beat. And Keene State will watch that one go out. A little bit of contact there between Marissa Costello and Krista Ledin, as it was Jennifer Wilson, the second player back for Keene State. Ledin, in part, such a great goal scorer because of her speed. She was a member of UMass Boston's 4x1 team in last year's outdoor NCAA Division III Nationals that won All-American status. Finished 8th in the nation in the 4x1 relay as Pugliese nearly comes up with a steal, and then she trips up a Keene State player right at the edge of her box. That one looked like it might have been knee-to-knee contact, as that may have been Marissa Costello over on the far side. She gets up pretty quickly. 16:13 to go. Ledin didn't initially intend to run track. In fact, last year was her first year running indoor and outdoor. But a two-time Little East Conference champion, as that 4x1 team also won Little East Conference championships in indoor and outdoor track. Stebor putting some pressure on Haley. Haley goes down, no call coming from the sideline referee. Now Stebor loses her footing, and she'll have to dive to keep that cross from getting in as Taylor Farland earns her team a corner kick. First corner of the day for Keene State. UMass Boston has two. 15:28 to go here in the first half of the Little East Conference Championship. My name is Seth Orensky as the number 2 Beacons take on the number 4 Owls. A 4-seed or lower has never won the Little East Conference Championship. UMass Boston looking to become the 5th straight 2-seed to win a title, as that corner was a little bit too far out towards the top of the box, and the Beacons able to get it out. Peters with it. Her pass looking for Pugliese, sent right back in. Now Brooks will attempt to clear. Kelly can't quite get there. Ball played to the top of the box where it's cleared out for Garufi. Garufi's pass intercepted by Granada. Granada from her but unable to get that one over to a teammate. Now it's Garufi being tripped up. Peters trying to play it forward, and she finds Pugliese. Pugliese on the first side. Her first touch is a little bit too far, and that one's out of bounds. It's Keene State controlling. It's Shannon Hart. Hart playing it back, headed forward, and now it's Brooks towards midfield. Off the feet of Rebecca Costello. Ledin playing give and go with Marina Kelly. Ledin pushes off a defender. Now she's pushed off the ball by Rebecca Costello. A very physical matchup between those two players. Ledin, not with the biggest of frames, but a very aggressive four-year player, and it's Kelly who draws the foul with her back to the net. Not the wisest of decisions that time by Keene State, as Kelly will come back to play this. Should be able to move it forward a little bit, and this could be a chance for Kelly to try to put this one on target, as she has added a different dynamic for the Beacons' free kicks this season with her ability to put the ball on net from distance towards the back post. Stebor can't get there. Crenson was diving for it, and it will go for a goal kick. Stebor was oh so close to heading that one home. Second best chance of the day for the Beacons. Second best chance for either side. A terrific look from Marina Kelly, and Natasha Stebor nearly scored that all-important first goal. As the goal kick played up towards midfield, Haley sending it backwards for Rebecca Costello. Now it's forward onto the foot of Cole. Pass onto the foot of Farland. Brooks taps it right back. Controlled for the moment by Shannon Hart. Peters nearly came away with it. Pass for Haley, who immediately draws contact from Bendick. UMass Boston really looking to rough up the all-conference midfielder, and her shot from just outside the box is easily saved by Dani Perkins there. Perkins has made 2 or 3 saves thus far, but her biggest play was coming off her line to avoid allowing Taylor Farland to shot in from inside the 6-yard box, as Kelly is called for the contact this time, working against Ellen Granada. Kelly's drawn a couple of fouls, as she'll go over and talk to Robert Odierna. A couple of UMass Boston men's soccer players dotting the sideline right now. The men's soccer team will play at 1:30. Top seed in the Little East Conference, taking on the 3rd-seeded Keene State College Owls. The Beacons looking to become the 6th men's program to earn a Little East Conference title. Keene State has more titles than any other team in the Little East Conference in men's soccer, with 6. Another foul on the Beacons, and a chance from straight on here from distance, as it'll be Farland once again. See what Farland can do with it, as the Beacons will put a 2-man wall there. The ball played right into Perkins, who picks it up off 2 bounces. A lot of confusion there, as the sideline originally saw a 3-man wall, called off the 3rd player, and then 2 players left, Kara Peters and Marina Kelly, weren't sure if they wanted a wall at all, as the Ball played right at the sideline. Garufi keeps it in. Garufi has a couple options, plays it down the line for Ledin. Defender falls. Ledin playing it into the box, looking for Kelly. Kept in. And it'll come all the way out to Hannah Peterson. She plays it in for Peters. Peters' initial touch into the box. Headed back out by Jennifer Wilson. Now looking for Ledin. Ledin has Garufi behind her. Ledin still fighting for it, and that'll go for a corner. Such a difficult matchup for Kate Piersack. They're going to call that one actually off of Krista Ledin, so no corner kick, just a goal kick. Coming off the field is Ellen Granada. Coming onto the field is Shannon Summers. Summers, a phenomenal athlete, a junior midfielder out of Keene, New Hampshire. We talked about Krista Ledin being a two-sport athlete and a very good one at that. Summers is a member of the Keene State College swimming and diving team. She was an all-conference selection in the 1-meter diving event, so that's quite an accomplishment as well. You don't see too many soccer and swimming athletes, rather diving in her case, as the ball played into the Beacons box. I've already seen a couple of players lose their feet, especially backs, leading to opportunities for the other side. This field is only going to get worse as the day goes on. With 2 games within a matter of hours, it's the first doubleheader in recent memory on the Clark Athletic Center field. UMass Boston Facilities Department was hard at work after Thursday's game and all day Friday trying to make this field as playable as possible, but with so much rain coming last Saturday and on Thursday afternoon, this field is still waterlogged, and the Beacons and Owls are only going to chew it up even more. Fortunately, if the Beacons were to advance, they will not be playing in the NCAA tournament here at home, as UMass Boston does not have the proper facilities, according to the NCAA, to host a postseason game, as Marina Kelly is taken down hard there, and it draws another free kick. Kelly has received the brunt of the physicality from the Keene State players. There were 18 total fouls in that first game between these two sides. Kara Peters in game number 1 was the player who was getting tossed around today. Marina Kelly, a physical player in her own right, has seen a ton of contact as Kelly gets some words from Lisa Brooks. She'll take the free kick, driving it on net just a little bit wide of the far post that time, as Kelly has had a couple of nice passes, nearly hooked up with Natasha Stieber on her last free kick, this time electing to take it herself and just miss it. And welcome back. It's Erica Garufi playing it in for Ledin, but Ledin surrounded by 3 red shirts, unable to get there that time. My name is Seth Dorensky, joined by Charles LaPaglia and Brian Fiella, our stellar crew. Steve Consiglio adding a little bit up top as well, as we are sky high above the Clark Athletic Center field, bringing you a pair of Little East Conference Championship games today. It's Kelly, a left-footed shot from distance. Crenson off her line. An easy save on that looping ball is Kelly with back-to-back shots, and now a Let's Go Beacons cheer coming from what I presume to be a Beacons baseball player. The baseball team is out here in numbers. Women's hockey team, men's soccer team here as well. It's a very busy day at the Clark Athletic Center field. The men's soccer team will compete for a title in the Little East Conference. The volleyball team plays at noon in the Little East Conference semifinals, as Marina Kelly gets a ton on that one bouncing it into the hands of Crenson, as no Beacons were able to make the run that time. The women's hockey team is here early, as they'll play a 5 p.m. game, but they're supporting their Beacons for as long as they can. Men's hockey team unable to be here, as they're up in New Hampshire, looking to move to 4-0 this afternoon when they take on St. Anselm College at 4 p.m. Ball played down line. Krista Ledin's first touch, a little bit too far, and Ledin able to play that one off a Keene State player to earn a throw-in. Garufi trying to send it across for Pugliese. A great step by Beverly Cole to break up that opportunity for the Beacons. Sent backwards by Hart to the far side for Cole, and Cole is just barely able to keep that one in bounds. Some nice play from Keene State to keep this ball alive, moving the ball up the field. It's Tola. Tola working 1v1 versus Peterson. Peterson steps in, forces Tola to send it backwards for Costello. Rebecca Costello over to Beverly Cole, and Elisa Brooks breaks that one up quickly as she boots it right back towards midfield. Now it's the other Costello, Marissa with it. Marissa is dispossessed, but it's still controlled on the far side by Shannon Hart for Keene State. Hart looking to get by Natasha Stebor. Ball played into the goal box, and Perkins is there with two on-rushing Keene State players in the form of Farland and Shannon Summers just off the bench. UMass Boston with 6 seniors, 5 players from the 2012 Little East Conference Championship team still on the roster. Keene State with 6 seniors as well, as they won last year's title, and a bit too much contact there for Robert Odierna, as he'll give Keene State a free kick from about 30 yards out this time on the near side. Once again, it'll be Farland. She's been the designated spot kick taker, as the Beacons will go with the 3-man wall. It's Kelly, Peters, and Garufi. Perkins lining up her 3 players. There's 7 players just outside the box. Peterson, the first player to it, able to get a touch. Now it's Peters unable to clear it away, and the ball is played out of bounds off of Keene State, as that was Piersack, whose first dribble was a bit too strong. Garufi has that one go off of her back and onto the foot of Tola. Tola across for Haley. Played back for Cole. Ball is loose. Haley with the long shot high, and Perkins easily able to handle that one. She thought she was going to have to jump up for it, and then it landed right at waist level. Another easy save for Perkins, who has really not been tested. On the other side, Tori Crenson hasn't been tested either. The Beacons' best 2 chances. Natasha Stebor unable to connect on a cross into the box from Marina Kelly, and Krista Ledin's point-blank shot went just over the bar on a ball that Crenson had no chance on. Ball played into the Beacons' end. It's Farland and Haley going back and forth. Ball played towards the top of the box. Brooks clears that one away onto the foot of Hart. Another shot and another save from Perkins, who falls on top of that ball, making sure she controls it. 4 minutes to go in half number 1. We're scoreless here in the Little East Conference Women's Soccer Championship game. Game number 1 of 2 in this historic Little East Conference doubleheader, as that one is cleared out by Keene State. Both teams have been tentative through the first 25-30 minutes. It's opening up just a little bit here in the second half. Rather, in the second half of the first half, as UMass Boston got the looks they wanted early. Keene State has started to get some better looks, as it's Tola playing that one upfield. Hannah Peterson easily with it. Peterson sending it forward. Garufi and Ledin to chase. Ledin will be the first player to it. She's got Piersack right on her. Tries to turn the corner. Great job by Piersack to knock it out of bounds over the sideline rather than the goal line. And that time it was actually Jennifer Wilson, as both players sporting single-digit numbers. 2 of the backs who have been charged with guarding against Ledin. It's Peterson with it. Peterson does a tremendous job crossing that one in, but Crenson is there on the back post. Is Peterson so dangerous when given space, not just throwing the ball in and creating chances, but very good at crossing the ball in and giving the Beacons a chance at a header. Crenson, though, has become more and more aggressive at coming off her line, as Garufi unable to get there. Peterson pass right back over to Garufi. Garufi tries to keep it inbounds and does so, working 1v1. And that one is cleared away. A big elbow coming from Rebecca Costello, and that one might have caught Garufi in the chin as she's a little bit shaken up. Erica, a tough player, though. She was hit in the face with an attempted clear after a blatant foul by a Salem State player back in October. She appeared in the next game wearing a Rip Hamilton-esque face mask. If you're a fan of NBA basketball, you know what that is. It was a big plastic mask to protect from any further injury. She had a black eye, but fortunately for the Beacons, no broken nose. Played in the next game, and then the next week she was playing without the mask, as we've got a substitution late here in half number 1. Farland coming off for the final 100 seconds. Into the game, it looks like Katie Silligi, the freshman out of Keene, New Hampshire, one of a couple of natives of Keene who decided to stay not only in state, but in town. Keene, one of the best college towns in New Hampshire. as that ball was out of bounds on the attempted clear, and it will stay with the Owls with 1:15 to go in the first half. UMass Boston, 8-0-2 here at home, looking to keep that perfect total. Beacons with just 4 losses in 4 years, as that's a poor time to commit a foul there. The Beacons, Cassandra Levesque and Amanda Pugliese, sandwiching a Keene State player is Kara Peters, telling the referee to back that ball up just a little bit. We'll see who takes the free kick with Farland on the bench this time. Farland has been the player taking most of the free kicks for Keene State. 45 seconds to go now in the half. Ball played into the box. Chance for a header. Cleared away by Elisa Brooks just outside the 18-yard box. Sent right back in. Another header. A couple Keene State players still there. Chance for Tola. Tola battling in and out. And a diving play by Sam Bendick to clear it away with 27 ticks left on the clock in the first half. Tola handing it off there for Kate Piersack. Piersack's throw in is off the body of Bendick. Over to Stebor. Stebor clear it out. Peterson trying to keep it in. Does so. And she'll try to kill the rest of this clock. 11 seconds to go. Playing it forward for Ledin. Over the head of Marissa Costello. Only player back is Wilson. Wilson does a good job of making sure Ledin doesn't get there. And that will do it for half number 1. 45 minutes through. We're tied at 0-0. The last 5 years, there have been 1 goal or fewer in the Little East Conference Women's Soccer Championship game. That first goal today could be the only one we'll see. We'll take a break, bring you the halftime stats, and look around Beaconville as it is a busy day here on UMass Boston's campus in the Little East Conference Tournament. Thanks so much for watching. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Through 45 minutes of play, UMass Boston and Keene State tied 0-0 here at the Clark Athletic Center field in the 2014 Little East Conference Women's Soccer Championship game. My name is Seth Dorensky, bringing you all the action. The two teams combined just for 3 or 4 grade A chances, but a couple of those were very strong. Keene State had Taylor Farland inside the 6-yard box. Dani Perkins came off her line and was able to pick up the ball before Farland got to it. Krista Ledin had a pinpoint chance that went just over the crossbar, and Natasha Stebor nearly had a great look for the Beacons. Both teams making the most of their looks from distance. The set pieces have been very strong. Marina Kelly with some great balls into the box looking for headers. On the other side, Keene State's Taylor Farland, another Little East Conference Rookie of the Year candidate, has been strong as well. Looking at the stats from that first half, very even. Keene State with a couple of late shots to take a 6-5 lead. Shots on target, 5-4 in favor of the Beacons. 3 total corners, 2 for UMass Boston, 1 for Keene State, the final one of the half. Saves, 4 for Dani Perkins and 2 for Tori Crenson. Total fouls, 8 apiece, as this game has become more and more physical. Robert Odierna not letting much go, which you have to be pretty happy with, as he's yet to bring out a yellow card, so both teams able to really not worry about potentially playing down a man, as the Beacons men's soccer team had to do in Thursday's game. The Beacons and Rhode Island College both playing 10v10 for the final 60 minutes after a pair of red cards were issued in the 37th minute. Looking around the rest of Beaconville, what a busy day it is. The number 1 men's soccer team taking on the most storied program in the Little East Conference on the men's soccer side, number 3 Keene State. The Beacons going for their first ever title at 1:30 p.m., although 1:30 p.m. could be a little bit of a gray area, as it depends on what time this game ends. It won't start before 1:30 p.m. This game goes to overtime, potentially penalty kicks could start a little bit after 1:30. The Beacons' number 1 volleyball team is hosting both Little East Conference semifinals today. They play Western Connecticut State at noon at 2 p.m., although, once again, that time is a little bit up in the air, as it depends on what time the first semifinal ends. The second-seeded Keene State Owls will take on number 3 Eastern Connecticut State at 2 p.m. And the final game here at home, the women's hockey team, 3-0 for the first time since their first year in program history back in 2002-2003, hosts Plymouth State University at 5 p.m. in the Beacons' ECAC East home opener. Last night, the Beacons women's hockey team held off New England College during a 6-5 victory after leading 6-3 midway through the third period. The Beacons men's hockey team will be at St. Anselm College today at 4 p.m. The men's hockey team 3-0, just like their women counterparts, as the men's hockey team last night won in overtime at New England College 5-4 thanks to a Stephen Bucco goal 1 minute and 39 seconds into OT, as the Beacons, after going ahead 3-0, found themselves tied 3-3 and 4-4 before getting the overtime winner. We've got 5:55 to go before the start of the second half. We'll take a break, try to warm up a little bit, as it is very cold up top here in the shadows. The players probably not too much warmer down on the field. A high of 49 on the day, and it's only 11:30 in the morning. Still not nearly as warm as it will get for the men's game, as Bobby the Beacon warms up just outside the Keene State goal. We'll take a break and be back with you here on the Beacons Broadcast Network. Keene State 0, UMass Boston 0 here at half. And welcome back to live action. UMass Boston going from right to left this half as it's controlled by Krista Ledin, sending it into the box, looking for Amanda Pugliese, and it's cleared away that time by Marissa Costello. Costello, one of a pair of sisters out of Meriden, Connecticut. And I don't think I'm too far off in presuming that they're twins, a pair of sophomores, as Marissa has been a great addition to this team, a mid-season addition, only playing in 9 games this year. This her 9th game, her 9th start. But a very talented center back is now Keene State will change the field and immediately create an opportunity outside the box. It's controlled by Tola, who had 6 goals as a freshman. Kara Peters clears it away over to Natasha Stebor, but Stebor's pass a bit too strong as Marissa Costello will give it over to Alex Haley. Haley sending it backwards over to Rebecca Costello, who was off the field for the final couple minutes of half number 1 rather. And it'll be Sam Bendick clearing it away. In college soccer, if you're subbed out in the first half, you can't come back until the second half. If you're subbed out in the second half, you can come back in at any point. Chance in front, and a header goes wide off the head of Taylor Farland. Would have been a difficult one. Didn't get a ton on it, but she sent that one well wide as Dani Perkins was set up. Farland able to get that header off despite having Sam Bendick and Elisa Brooks to her left and right. It's Perkins on the goal kick. Over to Erica Garufi right in front of the Keene State bench. She sends it backwards. Bendick will chase it down. A little bit of pressure that time from Farland, and Bendick will clear it away. Just underway here in half number 2 between the second-seeded Beacons and 4th-seeded Keene State Owls. Keene State looking to become the first team seeded 4th or lower to ever win a Little East Conference championship game. UMass Boston was the first 4 seed to ever reach the championship game. They upset top-seeded Eastern Connecticut State back in 2010 in PKs, but fell in the championship game 1-0 to Western Connecticut State last year. Keene State defeated 5th-seeded Eastern Connecticut State as Eastern Connecticut State upset UMass Boston on their home field last year in the Little East Conference semifinals. Natasha Stebor finds Marina Kelly. Kelly trying to send that one forward. It's off a Keene State player and out of bounds as it looks like Maggie Grayson is back up on the field in her defensive midfielder position. As it'll be Hannah Peterson on the throw-in. Remember, folks, this is game number 1 of 2 today at the Little East Conference Soccer Championships. Both of them here at the Clark Athletic Center field. This field is not used to having 2 games played on it in one day, but with the Beacons being the top seed remaining in women's and the top seed overall in men's, it allows the Beacons to quite possibly have one of the most historic days in program history and in UMass Boston athletics history, a history that goes back 30-plus years, as Krista Ledin tries to send it in, sending that one a little bit wide, and Tori Crenson picks it up. They're going to say that was off the foot of a Keene State player, though, in a corner kick. That's why Crenson was so quick to pounce off her line, as it'll be Amanda Pugliese to take it. 3rd corner kick of the day for UMass Boston. Pugliese with multiple options in the box. She's got Natasha Stebor right next to her and Kara Peters all alone up top. She'll play it short to Stebor. Stebor looks to dribble, sending it into the box. That one knocked away by Grayson. It's over to Peters. Peters leaving it to Pugliese, who sends it well wide. Keene State players there as Keene State kept 2 players in the goal mouth even after that ball was outside the box, making sure UMass Boston didn't get another chance in low, as it's Pugliese. Pugliese double-teamed, dribbling around, trying to find Kelly, and Pugliese draws the foul. This is a great opportunity for the Beacons, just about 24 yards out, and Marina Kelly, who's so adept in situations like this, will have her choice of either trying to send a bending ball towards the far post, looking for a head of a teammate, or of taking it herself. She gets directions from Elisa Brooks. And Kelly will take it, sending it towards the backside. Has Ledin. Shot! Score! Krista Ledin puts the Beacons ahead with 40:09 to play. And the Beacons have a 1-0 lead. Kelly to Ledin. the Beacons' dynamic duo, and UMass Boston has that all-important first goal. What a moment for Krista Ledin. Shutout in the Little East Conference Championship game in 2012. Shutout in last year's Little East Conference semifinals. And Krista Ledin, who had 2 goals on Thursday, picks up her all-important third of the tournament. A bending ball towards the backside. Ledin able to just get there in time to beat Tori Crenson, and now she's tripped up, and it'll go for a free kick. UMass Boston's fans getting loud, trying to get into the heads of the visiting Owls. The Beacons, the 2 seed, looking to keep history going. 4 consecutive 2 seeds have won on the women's side. For the past 5 years, the team who scored first has won. It's Kelly once again to the far side. Header sent just wide this time, and that could have been goal number 2. The Olay chant goes up from the Beacons fans. The men's soccer team can feel it right now. UMass Boston a 1-0 lead as the goal kick sent towards midfield. Peters the first player to it, over to Kelly. Pugliese bounces that one off the chest of an L, and Keene State needs to settle down. UMass Boston not used to having a true home field advantage, but the Beacons' fellow student athletes out in numbers, and they are rooting hard for a historic weekend. UMass Boston took 70 minutes back in 2012 to get the game-winning goal. It was Taylor Andrews, a brilliant individual play. This time, it was Krista Ledin, her 105th career tally from Marina Kelly, the freshman, her 11th assist, tops amongst all Little East Conference players. And Keene State finds themselves in a familiar spot in this year's playoffs, down a goal in the second half. Once again, Keene State with the goal kick. Haven't been able to get it out of their own end since giving up the goal. Cassandra Levesque, a missed touch, sending it back in off the chest of Marissa Costello. Costello ahead for Tola, and it's out of bounds just inside the Keene end. Control by Hannah Peterson now on the far side. Peterson looking to play it up line. And now it'll be cleared out of bounds. Peterson will take her time right now. No need to rush. Obviously, you don't want to sit back and allow Keene State to try for that goal number 1. But there's also no need to get ahead of yourself here, leading 1-0. As the ball ping-pongs around right at midfield off of Stebor, and Keene State has it with numbers. Ball played forward, and Hannah Peterson will have to play it herself. Tola with it. Tola comes all the way back, and it's off Peterson, and Keene State will have their second corner kick. So Peterson was looking for Perkins to come off her line, and now here's a great chance for Keene State. Corner kick number 2, and it'll be taken by last year's most outstanding player, Jennifer Wilson. Wilson's corner, bending ball into the box. Perkins punches it up and out of trouble for the meanwhile. Ball controlled by Alex Haley. Haley with Peters and 2 other Beacons coming to Peters' help. And this one will be cleared out for a throw-in deep inside the Beacons' end. Ball played in. It's Haley off of Cassandra Levesque, but they're going to call Haley out of bounds, and the Beacons catch a break and still get a free kick just off their own corner flag. Taking this one is Elisa Brooks, as she will send a line drive up the line off of Haley and out of bounds, and the Beacons able to get the ball out of a dangerous position here, as it will be Levesque taking the throw-in. Throw in coming from Marissa Costello. And it's controlled by Kelly. Kelly had the assist, sending it forward for Ledin. Goal number 2 could be it if the Beacons can get it. Shot from Ledin, and Tori Crenson makes a nice diving save. Not sure if that ball would have gotten there. Ledin drew some heavy contact, and the Beacons fans weren't happy with it. But Robert Odierna keeps the whistle away from the mouth that time. That play clearly not enough to draw a penalty kick, as Ledin was inside the box. Ledin with the all-important first goal. UMass Boston knows that the second would probably be enough to send Keene State packing. UMass Boston looking for their second ever trip to the Little East Conference, rather the NCAA Division III Women's Soccer Championship. A lot of titles going around this weekend. The men's soccer title will be decided today. A 1:30 start between UMass Boston, the top seed, and Keene State College, the third seed. The women's volleyball championship semifinals played today at the Clark Athletic Center Gymnasium, over to our left behind the Keene State goal right now. Championship game tomorrow at noon. And the field hockey championship, which also features Keene State, played today at 2 between Keene State and UMass Dartmouth, as the Beacons don't have a field hockey team. Top 2 teams in the Little East Conference. And those teams will face off at 2 today up in Keene, New Hampshire, as Crenson able to pick that one up. Tori Crenson has been so strong all season long, but had no chance as Ledin was able to head the ball home with 40 minutes and 9 seconds. And now the Beacons can't really look at the clock too much this early, but they keep glancing up at it, knowing that clock is the only thing between them, and 11 Keene State players between them and their second ever trip to the NCAA tournament. Denise Lyons, a tremendous coach of this Keene State team, all too familiar with this spot. Her 12th trip to the Little East Championship since 1997. 3 titles during that span and 8 defeats. We'll have a free kick right now for Keene State. Still plenty of time for the Owls to get back in this one. 32:57 to play. It'll be Wilson. Free kick right off the wall. Kara Peters is there. Marina Kelly slides, upends a teammate, but able to get it out of trouble, as it was Garufi who was taken down in that collision with Kelly. Ball controlled by Grayson. Grayson playing it forward right onto the foot of Garufi. Garufi tries to send a through ball for Ledin. Ledin draws contact, trying to send it forward for Kelly. And Ledin will be the player called for the foul. Ledin drew a pretty heavy shoulder-to-shoulder blow from a Keene State player, but it was Ledin's attempt at clearing out that Keene State player that led to the foul after the fact. Pugliese gets bumped, and she'll draw the foul, as Odierna in a good position to see that one. UMass Boston leads 1-0 here after a goal 8 minutes ago. Krista Ledin scoring her 24th goal on this season. Marina Kelly, her 11th assist. The top 2 scorers on the Beacons, 2 of the top 3 scorers in the Little East Conference. And the Beacons in a great position here. It's Peters. Peters sending it forward for Garufi. Unselfish play. She's tripped up. Assistant referee thinks about it. No call coming, as Garufi drew the contact, but apparently not enough for one of our 2 sideline officials today. Both assistant referees, unfamiliar to myself. Alp Golden and John Jordan working their first games here at Clark Athletic Center Field. Robert Odierna working just his second game of the year here at the Clark. As the ball sent forward, you do want to have unbiased referees for a championship game. Not to say that any of the referees are biased, but if you see a certain player over and over again during the regular season, you might have certain inherent biases towards a player, a coaching staff, or even a team. So the Little East Conference going with unbiased referees, probably from a little bit farther outside the Boston area. Normally the referee assigner just picks referees within close driving distance, but for such a pivotal game, these referees brought in from farther outside of the greater Boston area. After that diatribe, it's controlled by Keene State, played out over towards the scorer's table. 30 minutes and 24 seconds remaining in the 2014 Little East Conference Women's Soccer Championship. My name is Seth Dorensky, bringing you both ends of today's doubleheader as it's Peters playing it forward, looking for Ledin. Ledin, the goal scorer earlier this afternoon. Ledin playing it back for Peterson. Peterson forward, knocked away by Tola. Tola looking to make something happen, finds Farland. Farland controlling it, has a ton of space. Peters trying to track back. Now it's Marina Kelly coming all the way, and the pass just a little bit too far ahead that time for Katie Siligy. As Farland, that's probably the most space she's seen the whole way. Marina Kelly sprinting back provided just enough pressure to force Farland to pass that ball away. And her pass for Siligy just a bit too strong. Ledin fighting with Marissa Costello, unable to get there. Now it's Cassie Levesque trying to get it. Ball cleared back up the line. Elisa Brooks has a bit of time, and she'll clear that one out of bounds off of Amanda Pugliese and out as the sideline referee took a little bit of time. The linesman controlled here by Siligy. Siligy over to Rebecca Costello to the near post, and Dani Perkins able to get there in time. Perkins, a long boot towards midfield. Played right back in as Bendick tried to get it over to Garufi. Unable to do so. Brittany Tola fighting for it. Kara Peters poaches that ball away. Peters looking up line. A terrific ball for Ledin, but first player to it is Jennifer Wilson. Marina Kelly tries to fight through a Keene State player, and they'll call it obstruction against the Owls as Bobby the Beacon, a big fan of that one. Bobby might be the warmest, I'm not going to call him a person, but the warmest two-legged object out here, as that Beacon suit is quite warm from personal experience. Marina Kelly on the free kick, looking towards the back post this time, and it's knocked away by Grayson. Grayson at 5'10", easily able to rise above Erica Garufi to get that one. Hannah Peterson shielding off Taylor Farland, and now Peterson with the help of Sam Bendick will go after it, and Peterson, not sure why, she made the touch and knocked it out of bounds. Pass forward for Siligy. Siligy fighting against Peterson along the corner flag through the legs of Peterson, and Elisa Brooks will send a long clear down the sideline and kept in by Garufi. Great clear from Brooks as that one looked like it was initially destined to go out of bounds, but instead found Erica Garufi, one of the 6 seniors on this side. Kelly looking to go over to Garufi on the give and go, and her pass just a little bit too strong. 27-24. UMass Boston men's soccer team out in numbers along the Keene State 18-yard box, as we'll see Nicole McMiniman check in for Erica Garufi, the Beacon's first substitution of the game. McMiniman, junior transfer out of Ackworth, Georgia, attended Bunker Hill Community College here in Boston her freshman year. Went down to Georgia Perimeter College as a sophomore. As Ledin fighting for it. Ledin's header a little bit too strong, though. Marissa Costello able to get there. Ledin has been frustrated in the field of play, but on set pieces, she's created 2 great looks. Chance in the first half went high, able to head home a huge goal with 40:09 to play. That was 14 minutes ago. 26:40 to go here in regulation. UMass Boston looking to hold on and make it 5 of the past 6 years with just a single goal. Huge boot from Wilson. Brooks the first player to it. Ball is loose. Kelly sending it back towards midfield where it's controlled by Marissa Costello. Costello, a soft touch over to Grayson. Grayson looking to play it through space. Up ahead, and it's Haley playing it in. Perkins will watch that one go out of bounds. A smart decision by Dani Perkins. And she'll place it down for a goal kick. This UMass Boston women's soccer team did not appear in a playoff game in their first 13 years as a program. This, their 21st playoff game in the past 7 years, looking for their second title in 3 seasons. as the Beacons have broken the stronghold that Keene State, Eastern Connecticut State, and Western Connecticut State have held on this conference for over a decade. Keene State with head coach Denise Lyons has been frustrated so many times by Joe Mingachos down at Western Connecticut State and Chris D'Ambrosio at Eastern Connecticut State, and now she's got another big team to contend with. UMass Boston under 10th-year head coach Amy Zombek, as Ledin sends it in. Easy play for Crenson. Is looking for their second title, their third title appearance in 5 years. As this women's soccer conference has been a real divide in terms of the top and bottom. UMass Boston, cellar dwellers for so long, including the first couple of years under Zombek. But the Beacons earning their third consecutive portion of a Little East Conference regular season title by finishing second in the conference this year with a 6-1 victory, good enough to tie Western Connecticut State. Looking for title number 2. As got a substitution. Katie Siligy coming off the field for Keene State, as Grayson will send it backwards, looking for Piersack. Piersack to the far side. And it's picked up by McMiniman. McMiniman trying to send it through for Kelly, but she was dispossessed. It's Tola. Tola sending it forward in space for Haley. Haley trying to send a ball into the box, and a nice job by Bendick to hold off a Keene State player as we have 23:51 to go. And now it'll be Amanda Pugliese getting a short trip to the bench as Erica Garufi got a 3 or 4 minute breather. Nicole McMiniman, the lone player coming off the bench today for UMass Boston. Brittany Castillo, the senior center back, said that she was ready to go today for maybe 15 to 20 minutes, but with the way this back line is played, I'm not sure if Amy Zombek's going to make any changes back there. This group of 4 backs for UMass Boston playing their second game together, and they've only allowed 2 goals, the second of which on Thursday came with most of those 4 players out as UMass Boston held a 5-1 lead in the final 5 minutes of action as Stebor draws a ton of contact, that time from Marissa Costello, and that'll lead to a free kick. UMass Boston converted on a free kick at 40:09 remaining in the contest. We'll see if the Beacons can add goal number 2. It's Kelly, who has the lone assist in today's game. She's going to be up top getting some words of advice from Krista Ledin. Ledin, who has the goal. A little bit surprising to see Ledin standing next to Kelly, but she'll take herself out of the play. Kelly will leave it for Ledin. Ledin, the left-footed chip, looking for Stebor on the near side, and Crency coming off her line. Krista really not a player who's used to taking free kicks from outside, at least not from that far outside, and maybe that was the reason the Beacons elected to go with Krista Ledin to provide a bit of a surprise to Tori Crenson. Ledin also going with the left foot, normally a predominantly right-footed player, although such an effective player, easily able to use either, as it's Cassandra Levesque in a bit of a difficult spot, is dispossessed there by Farland. Farland draws contact, not enough for a foul. Farland, a left-footed pass into the box, and Perkins can't get there as it was Morgan Cathan with a great opportunity on the back post, unable to get a foot on it, but it will be off of the Beacons, and we'll get a corner kick here, as Cathan has one of the biggest goals of the season for Keene State. In a 1-0 victory over Western Connecticut State, Cathan scored in overtime her first collegiate goal. She was the player who came in for Siligy. Cathan, a freshman out of Ludlow, Vermont, 2 goals on the year. Corner kick from Wilson towards the top of the box. First header, chance for a shot. Tola can't get ahead on it. The Beacons hoping for a goal kick, and they'll get one as Brittany Tola was wide open and unable to put it in. Keene State getting their chances, unable to put it home. That's 2 great looks in the past 5 minutes. UMass Boston holding on to a 1-0 lead, but it's certainly not safe. Elisa Brooks in her own box, and she's able to knock that one away from Taylor Farland. It's Cassandra Levesque. Levesque playing it forward for Erica Garufi. Garufi can't control. Levesque playing it forward. She's got Kelly. Ledin has some space. Ledin by Marissa Costello. Can she catch up to it? She's got 3 red shirts back, so now she'll send it towards the far side looking for McMiniman. The Keene State player initially lost their footing, but able to recover as Ledin tries to take it away from Beverly Cole. Cole sending it forward, and Stebor's there with the touch. Cole once again tries to clear, and Stebor gets it right back. Stebor over to Peters. Peters looking for McMiniman up on the far sideline. Now she'll leave it back for Hannah Peterson. Peterson given space. She'll take it on the far side. Peterson runs around one defender. Peterson looking to cross it into the box, bit behind Marina Kelly, and Ledin can't get a foot on it. Garufi trying to provide some pressure as she falls down. Now it's Cassandra Levesque. A nice job of knocking that one off the foot of Taylor Farland, as Levesque was most concerned that time in not allowing Farland to get by her. And now they'll send Shannon Hart back to the bench as they thought that ball was originally off of Cassandra Levesque at the scorer's table. And they're going to keep the throw-in with the Beacons. That's back-to-back throw-ins that Keene State has thought should have gone their way. And now the Keene State fans are getting loud for the first time all day. Not happy with the officiating. Kelly plays it in. No one in the vicinity there for the Beacons. And Grayson has plenty of time to clear. Beverly Cole playing it forward. Levesque will step up. And now Keene State has some numbers if they can push the counterattack. It's 2v3 for Keene State. A strong run here from Haley. Haley looking for Farland, her only player in the box. Peterson's first touch, not a good one. Farland falls to the ground, and Cassandra Levesque is able to play it up, but not quite out of danger yet. Natasha Stebor slides over, but her ball is picked up by Beverly Cole. Cassandra Levesque will tap it back out. UMass Boston with 10 players behind the ball right now as they try to keep Keene State off the scoreboard. Elisa Brooks will shield off Farland, and it will stay with the Beacons on the goal kick, down to 18:34. And now we'll get that substitution for Keene State as Shannon Hart will check back in for the second time. She will sub in for Maggie Grayson. Grayson, a defensive midfielder. We'll see if Shannon Hart is in there for a bit more offense. Hart does have 3 goals and an assist as Levesque will clear it up towards midfield. UMass Boston playing with a lot of players behind the ball. Ledin really the only player who's been playing past midfield as it's controlled here by Hart. Hart sends a pass towards the Keene State bench, and it's cleared right into the bench by Nicole McMiniman. They'll go for a Keene State throw-in. 17:55. An eternity in soccer as Keene State looks to tie it up. The second-seeded Beacons looking to win their second championship in 3 years here at home. It's a matchup of the past 2 champions in the Little East Conference tournament. The first time since 2005 we've had the pleasure of seeing back-to-back champions as UMass Boston and head coach Amy Zombeck look for title number 2 in program history. Peterson with a great clear up for Ledin. Can she keep it in? Unable to do so as her clear goes off the hands of assistant coach Dan Campagna and out of bounds. Talk about these coaches. The Beacons have had some not only great assistant coaches, but assistant coaches who have been there for this entire run. Dan Campagna and Greg Vizino deserve a lot of the credit. Campagna, the goalie coach. Vizino does so much for this program as it's Farland up top. Farland, a soft little shot that Dani Perkins can waltz over and pick up there. Those 2 coaches have been a part of this entire run over the past 5 years. On the other side for Denise Lyons, a coach who's so respected by her peers. Stephanie Keating, Kristen Boker, Sarah Testo, and Victoria Tarabelli are her 4 assistants. Tarabelli, a former player for the Owls, and that just shows how much respect her players have for her as Amy Zombeck, a former Keene State great, played 4 years with the program, graduated in 1999, and within a couple of years she was an assistant coach with the program, stayed 4 years before taking over as head coach of the Beacons. Now in her 10th season at UMass Boston. Still no sign of the Keene State men's soccer team. They may have been trying to get as much sleep as possible. This is a difficult turnaround, especially for the Keene State women's soccer team. Not only do they have to wake up extremely early to get here in time for today's 10:30 a.m. start, but Keene State played a night game on Thursday, a 6 o'clock start against Western Connecticut State. That game went to overtime and penalty kicks, and then they had to drive all the way back from Western Connecticut State. 2 games within 36 hours for the Owls. The Beacons with probably another 5 to 6 hours of rest, as the Keene State volleyball team, who's playing at 2 p.m., comes out to try to support their team, and they draw a big round of boos. UMass Boston able to clear away that opportunity, and it'll be Cassandra Levesque on the throw-in. Into Stebor. Stebor trying to shield off 2 players, and Levesque will play it into some open space. Pugliese coming back, and it's controlled by Hart. Big tackle between Hart and Stebor, no call coming, and it's Peters sending it up over on the far sideline with Ledin giving chase. Controlled by Piersack. Piersack gets it right back from Tola. Ball played through. Initial touch by Peterson, and the Beacons lose possession. Peters can't get there. Ball controlled by Farland. Farland plays it over in the box. It's controlled by Tola. Tola sends a shot in, and Perkins, sure-handed as ever, able to make the play. Dani Perkins has seen a ton of work today. Not a ton of difficult saves, but more saves than she's used to making, as Keene State has peppered her from distance. Ball played off the head of Beverly Cole, and the Beacons will get a throw-in with under 15 minutes to play in the 2014 Little East Conference Championship game. The fans are getting louder. The pressure's picking up. UMass Boston a goal at 40:09 remaining in the contest from Krista Ledin, as Elisa Brooks loses it momentarily and gets it back. A ton of pressure coming from Taylor Farland. We saw Brooks have a bad giveaway against Eastern Connecticut State's Emily Becker that led to a goal on Thursday. Brooks, one of the most sure-footed players on the Beacons, a huge addition for this season's team. There's a lot of pressure on her without Castillo. Bendick's done a great job, but not a natural center back, as those 2 players trying to gain a bit more chemistry in their relationship as center backs rather than a center back and outside back. Even more difficult with Bendick playing the first year of her career as a midfielder. Still a bit of a new position for Bendick, the junior out of New Egypt, New Jersey, one of 5 players on this Beacons roster who are members of that 2012 team. Kelly playing it forward for Ledin, 1 player to beat, and it's Wilson. Wilson, a great step back as she gets Ledin going a bit too far by the ball, and Shannon Hart controls. Hart ahead for Rebecca Costello, cleared away by Kara Peters. The Beacons are giving up on possession consistently, trying to knock the ball back into the Keene State end. Peters is sent to the ground, and that's just a bit too much contact that time for Odierna's liking, as it was Kathan on the call. 12:41 to go. I don't know about the players on the field, but my eyes are certainly gravitating a bit more to the clock with each passing minute. Hannah Peterson on the free kick. She'll look to boot it deep, looking for Garufi. Garufi can't get there, but Ledin is there. Ledin looking to turn the corner around Piersack. Ledin trying to cross it in, and the ball is loose. Pugliese can't get there. Beverly Cole with a nice clear. Peters tracking back. First player to it is Alex Haley. Haley, one of the 6 seniors on this Keene State team, looking to earn back-to-back Little East Conference championships. UMass Boston looking to have 2 titles in 3 years. This senior class has been so successful in their 4 years for UMass Boston. The first ever title when they were sophomores in 2012, looking to become the first ever senior class to have 2 titles. And a tremendous class of 6. Krista Ledin, soon to become, in fact, probably early next week, a 3-time Little East Conference Offensive Player of the Year, just the 2nd in conference history. Brittany Castillo, a senior center back, was a 2nd-team All-Conference player a year ago, a 3-year starter. Amanda Pugliese, her 3rd season with the program, she was a 2nd-team All-Conference player. Erica Garufi, another midfielder in her 2nd season, another All-Conference player. Dani Perkins, a tremendous career, 2nd all-time in career wins and career shutouts, and she's in contention for All-Conference status. And finally, Cindy Cortez Puentes, one of the most inspiring players on the roster. Hasn't seen a ton of time. We've yet to see her today, but she's definitely made an impact in her 2 seasons. It's controlled by Marissa Costello. Costello leaving it back, ball booted into the box, and Perkins will come off her line a couple feet to pick up that shot that may have been going just wide of the far post. The men's soccer team heads in as they go through their final preparations for the men's soccer championship game. That game's scheduled to start at 1:30. If we were to finish here in regulation, that one would start at 1:30 as Pugliese is called for the foul with the push to the back of Beverly Cole. UMass Boston will put 10 players behind the ball as Krista Ledin will back it up there for Jennifer Wilson. Robert Odierna has been very specific about making sure of the placement on every free kick. Stebor gets ahead on the free kick and knocks it out of bounds as the clock clicks down to 10 minutes exactly. Levesque working against Haley. Haley trying to spin, trying to draw this corner kick, tries to get through Levesque. A nice job from Elisa Brooks to come back and help her out. And Ledin forces that ball to be kicked out of bounds. Marissa Costello tried to trick the referees and say it was off Ledin. And now there's some communication between the sideline assistant and Odierna, and they're going to give it to Keene State. I didn't see the contact on Ledin. Sideline linesman clearly did, and we'll get a goal kick here as Natasha Stebor is providing some pressure on Katie Siligy and did not make contact with that one. 9:17 to go in regulation. The Beacons have been holding on to a one-goal lead for over 30 minutes now, trying to have it hold up. It was Krista Ledin from Marina Kelly off a free kick. Ledin heading it home despite her diminutive stature. Ledin, one of the all-time greats in Division III, despite standing at 5'3", and that might be a little bit kind. But Ledin, a player who has proven time and time again that she's able to meet any challenge. Shot from distance. Perkins can't get there, but was a little bit too high there, well high of the crossbar. As Keene State had been trying over the past 15 to 20 minutes to get the ball into the box to create chances. This time it was an audacious attempt from distance. And Perkins made sure that one went high, rose up to the crossbar, but didn't have to make the play. Brittany Tola heading it back in, looking for Hart. The contact continues. This has been one of the most physical women's soccer games I've seen all season, but the Beacons were ready for it. They watched the game between Keene State and Western Connecticut State on Thursday, and that game was easily 10 to 15% more physical than this one. Robert Odierna's done a nice job of finding a fine line in the contact, as now we've got a flag up on the far side. It's got to be for a foul against the Beacons, as Ledin was not offside. A couple players behind her. And we'll get a free kick. A booming kick into the Beacons end. Put down off the foot there of Shannon Summers. Summers from distance. Off the bar. Off of Perkins. Put in by Keene State. And we are in a tie. 7:33 to go. Perkins couldn't find the loose ball, as it was Shannon Summers off the bar. It landed right next to Perkins. Initially wasn't in. And we'll see who's credited with the goal. What a turn of events. Keene State got a decent look from distance just 30 seconds ago. Decided to try it again. And Shannon Summers, who scored a goal on October 18th against UMass Boston in a Beacons 3-2 win, adds one here. It'll be Taylor Farland with the goal. Farland picking up her 12th goal in the season. That's tops amongst Keene State players. And what a huge turnaround here. 7 minutes and 10 seconds to go. Still tons of time, but the Beacons are going to have to change the course right now. The Beacons had been playing very defensively as Bendick taps that one out. And for the first time since 2008, we've had multiple goals in a conference championship game. How about that? It's Peterson. Soft touch over to Erica Garufi. Garufa playing it forward. Ledin, the only player back. And a Keene State defender able to shield off Ledin and send it back in. Keene State looking for the winner. Marissa Costello playing it over. And it's Garufi there. Garufi a through ball. Ledin has to fight through one defender. Now it's Jennifer Wilson giving chase. Wilson still with it. Plays it off the foot of Ledin and out of bounds. And it'll be a Keene State throw-in. 1-1, 6:18 remaining in regulation. Remember, we would have two 10-minute overtime sessions, golden goal, so first goal wins it. And if we were still tied at that point, it would go to penalty kicks. Best of 5. Under 6 minutes to go as Cranston comes off her line. The Beacons leading for over 33 minutes, and Taylor Farland coming up with a big goal, finding the loose ball that was just behind Perkins. Perkins unable to find it, and now we've got a Keene State free kick just outside the center field circle as a Keene State player is still hurting a bit after that tackle by a Beacon. 5:30 remaining now. Should be Jennifer Wilson on the ball, and it will be. Wilson's been very good as there are 7 Keene State players in the box. Brooks the first player to it. High shot deflected. No, they're going to say not deflected off Stevor. As that was Rebecca Costello that time sending it high. Very difficult spot for UMass Boston, but especially so for Dani Perkins. Held her head down after giving up that goal. As this game goes on, Perkins is going to have to make another big play if the Beacons are to win, as Pugliese is called for pushing over a Keene State player. She can't believe it, and now the Keene State fans are getting loud. Remember, UMass Boston had their entire men's soccer team cheering on the Beacons. That's when they scored their goal. Since the Beacons lost that big cheering section, Keene State has gotten the goal and switched the momentum. Chance for Piersack. Piersack trying to send it in. Peterson picks it up. Peterson's pass, though, a bit too strong for Garufi, who's not going to be able to track that one down. 4:10 remaining in regulation. Controlled by Tola. Tola trying to split the double team. Ball sent back towards the top and over to the near side for Beverly Cole. Cole's pass, looking for a teammate who slipped, and now Kara Peters sends it into no man's land where it's sent out of bounds, and Cole will take the throw in. Cole in for Farland, the goal scorer. Farland and Krista Ledin, the top 2 scorers in this game. The 2 of the top 4 goal scorers in the conference have each scored for their team. Will we see another goal, or is this game destined for penalty kicks? It's Peterson. Peterson's through ball into no man's land once again as Kelly tried to track it down. And Dani Perkins will make an easy save, and that probably will help her confidence just a little bit. So difficult as a goalkeeper to keep your head up, knowing how close your team was to a championship, knowing how close she was to picking up that loose ball before Farland could get to it. Great pass from Ledin up ahead for Garufi. Garufi scored the game winner the last time out. Can she make something happen here? Ball tapped away by Tola. Tola fighting for it. Garufi with a touch, but it's too strong over the goal line. And it'll be a goal kick here with just under 3 minutes to go in regulation. We would have 3 minutes between the end of regulation and the start of overtime before that first 10-minute OT session. It's Garufi. Garufi with a bit of space. She's going to have to beat Piersack. She'll take it inside. Garufi tries to get a left-footed clear. Instead, it's Seaboard at the top. Shot, and Crenson has to go in and out of her hands, but picks up the bounce as no Beacons were anywhere near the vicinity. Booming kick from Crenson. The ball is loose, and it'll be Cassie Levesque with the first touch over to Stebor. Stebor up ahead, way too strong for Pugliese as the clock ticks down to 2 minutes. 2:05 to be exact. Nice little combination play, and it's Cole. Cole up ahead, looking for Alex Haley, and Elisa Brooks will clear. Looking for Stebor. Stebor can't get ahead on it. It's a 2-on-2. Ledin and Garufi running. Garufi holding off a defender. Ledin taking it over towards Garufi. Garufi looking for Ledin. The pass a little bit too far ahead of Ledin. Ledin able to keep it in. Crenson off her box. Ledin leaves it for Kelly. Kelly leaving it for Pugliese. Pugliese shot. Crenson save. What a look there for the Beacons. A 2-on-2. 2 of their fastest players, but unable to get a great look as Amanda Pugliese put that one right in to the breadbasket of Tori Crenson. It'll be a Keene State throw with 1:15 to go. What a chance for UMass Boston. Keene State has to be thrilled that this game is still tied. Ledin, the top scorer in the Little East Conference. Garufi, a Division I talent. And the Beacons just unable to connect as Garufi's pass a little bit too far ahead of Ledin. Ledin able to track it down. But the shot from Pugliese with several Keene State defenders back was right in to the body of Crenson. Under a minute to play now. 45 seconds exactly. Bennett can't get ahead on it. Brooks will clear it way up towards the Keene State bench. Kelly gets ahead over to Garufi. Garufi's pass ahead for Ledin. She has two players to beat. Pugliese makes the run on the far side. Ledin trying to get by Wilson. Ledin is dispossessed, and they're going to call a corner kick. 25 seconds to go. The Beacons will play for the final opportunity of the day. Everybody's going to go up but Hannah Peterson. Dani Perkins is way off her line. We're down to 14 seconds. It'll be Marina Kelly down to 10. Kelly's ball is sent towards the back post and behind the net, and that will do it for regulation. 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're heading to overtime in the 2014 Little East Conference Tournament Championship. UMass Boston took the lead with 40 minutes remaining. Krista Ledin from Marina Kelly, and Keene State answers. A loose ball collected by Taylor Farland and put in from just 2 feet out as we head to overtime. 2 10-minute OT sessions, and then if it gets to it, PKs here at the Clark Athletic Center field. We'll take a brief break, 5 minutes on the clock, and we'll be back with the final statistics and then try to break down that second half. What a flurry of action in those last 15 minutes. Hello and welcome back. Just 38 seconds before the start of overtime, we'll give you the stats from regulation. Keene State leading in shots 13-10, shots on goal 7-6. The saves, 6 for Dani Perkins, 5 for Tori Crenson, 36 total fouls, 19 on Keene State, 17 on UMass Boston, 20 in that second half alone. UMass Boston leads in corners 4-3, and just one offside between the two teams. It'll be Keene State with the opening touch of overtime as the Owls sporting the red jerseys going from right to left. UMass Boston, their home whites, going from left to right. The Beacons have played a lot of overtime games, have not been very successful as they have 4 overtime ties, no overtime losses, no overtime victories. For Keene State, they had a big overtime victory over Western Connecticut State in their only OT game of the year, although they also advanced against Western Connecticut State on Thursday in penalty kicks. They were dominated in that overtime session, really looked tired, so we'll see if Keene State has a bit more fresh legs under them in this one. Chance for Taylor Farland. Farland is knocked down, no call coming, as Odierna trots towards the box, but no hand up that time. The contact has been very frequent. It's gotten a little bit stronger. Farland was knocked off the ball, but it's a difficult way to decide a championship game and a bid to the NCAA tournament with a penalty kick like that, although we could be seeing penalty kicks either way. It'll be a corner kick nonetheless, the 4th of the day for Keene State, taken by Jennifer Wilson, the most outstanding player of the 2013 Little East Conference tournament. Wilson's bending ball sent in, and that ball will go just wide as it was Maggie Grayson getting a header with Hannah Peterson watching the ball go wide as she hugged that post like her life depended on it. It'll be Dani Perkins to take it. 14th shot of the day for Keene State. Remember, Keene State dominated Western Connecticut State through regulation. Looked like they might break through. Played pretty well in the first overtime, but struggled throughout overtime number 2. Western Connecticut State was the aggressor in that one and had a couple of good looks to win it in regulation. Unable to do so. Went to penalty kicks. Western Connecticut State sent 2 shots wide, and Tori Crenson saved another one as Keene State advanced 3-2 in PKs. Haven't seen penalty kicks in the Little East Conference Championship game on the women's side since 2010 as that ball will be sent out of bounds. Cassandra Levesque on the throw-in. The intensity picking up here. 7:45 to go in overtime number 1. As that ball is played out by Natasha Stebor. UMass Boston was 7 minutes away from a championship. Taylor Farland able to score off a loose ball in the box. Chance here for Keene State at the top of the box. A left-footed shot goes wide from Maggie Grayson, her second already in overtime. Both times sending it a little bit wide of that near post on your computer screen. Krista Ledin, the lone goal for UMass Boston, her 24th of the season. Today's second game scheduled to start at 1:30. Teams need at least 30 minutes of warm-up time, if not more, so that game might be moved back depending on when this game concludes. Ledin playing it forward for Garufi. Garufi, though, can't quite get there as Ellen Granada, who played a lot early in this game, haven't seen her as much since, was able to get there. Peterson trying to work the sideline, working against Farland. Farland has been very aggressive today, trying to send it forward for Silogy. Silogy couldn't quite get there. Marina Kelly and Krista Ledin fighting for the ball against a Keene State player. Ledin sending it over to Garufi. Garufi cuts back. Garufi in the midst of traffic has it tapped away. Kara Peters trying to track it down. Silogy going 1-2 with Alex Haley. Haley over to the far side for Beverly Cole. Cole's pass a little bit behind Silogy. Silogy, a left-footed pass for Farland, and it's knocked away by Sam Bendick. This Beacons back four has been tremendous today. The lone goal coming off of a long shot from distance that hit the under portion of the crossbar and then was put in by Farland. Cassandra Levesque taking her time, tries to send it up line, stolen away by Cole. Now it's Elisa Brooks sending it out of trouble, and with one bounce, well, just barely stays inside the Clark Athletics center field complex. Cole sending it into the box, headed away by Peterson. Peterson over to Kelly. Kelly had Garufi, didn't see her, and she'll clear that one way upfield as it will go out of bounds on 2 bounces. And we'll see a throw in here from Piersack. Piersack's throwing off the head of Granada. Kelly is there. Kelly, left-footed pass for Ledin. Unfortunate, off the back of the heel that time of Jennifer Wilson, and it'll be off of Kelly, who got it right back for another throw-in. 5 minutes and 5 seconds to go in overtime number 1. The first of 2 OT sessions. Game-winning goal will be the next one. Or if we could head to penalty kicks, who knows how many rounds of penalty kicks we'd have to go through. It's the first 5 shooters, and then if you're in a tie, it goes one shooter after another. Chance for Peters, and doesn't get much on that. Takes a whack at it, a couple of bounces, and Crenson easily able to pick it up on a semi-shot. Crenson boots it towards midfield. Headed away there. Farland gets the second header, but Brooks, as she's been all day, the last player back for UMass Boston, and able to make the play. Off the throw, and it will be Ellen Granada, the junior out of Northampton, New Hampshire. Over to Alex Haley. Haley splits the Beacons' soft pressure. That's a nice job by Cassandra Levesque to clear it away. But Marissa Costello is the first player to the ball. Played up line, looking for Shannon Hart. Hart working against Cassandra Levesque. We'll leave it back for Grayson. We've got a foul on Keene State over on the far side. 3:55 to go in overtime number 1. Elisa Brooks, the junior back out of San Diego, California. Boots it into the Keene end. Stebor can't get the head on it. Over to Garufi. Garufi pushed off the ball by Granada. Now Bendick's going to have to chase back as she works against Farland. Bendick will clear it out as Farland's the one who trips up. And Farland will have a throw-in. Farland will give it back to Ellen Granada. And Farland will become an option. Silogy looks at a shot from distance. Instead, she'll send it in. As it's Haley trying to get it right back to Silogy, and a nice job by Peters to get it out. Controlled by Costello. Costello sending it in, looking for Farland on the back shoulder of Bendick that time, and Peters will play it over for Pugliese. UMass Boston has not been able to establish any kind of possession here in overtime number 1. They really had given up trying to control possession and control the game over the last 20 minutes of regulation until Taylor Farland scored. Did have the best chance over the final 5 minutes of regulation to put the game away. But Amanda Pugliese's shot went into the arms of Tori Crenson. High shot over the bar, and the Beacons will have a goal kick off the left-footed look from a Keene State player. Under 2:30 to play now. At most, we'll have 12 minutes and 20 seconds left to play for you before we head to penalty kicks. Penalty kicks would favor Keene State College. Keene State not only has had an opportunity to play for PKs already this year, so a little bit less stress, a little bit more confidence about taking them, but UMass Boston only has one player on their roster who's taken a penalty kick at the collegiate level. That's Krista Ledin, 4 for 5 for her career, 2 for 3 on the season, including a converted penalty kick on Thursday against Eastern Connecticut State. So you have the confidence level, and then Tori Crenson is one of the best goalies when it comes to penalty kicks. It's Garufi. Garufi trying to get through a second defender, and I'm seeing more and more why Jennifer Wilson was named the 2013 Little East Conference Most Outstanding Player. Just a phenomenal center back for this Keene State player. There's a reason that Keene State was able to shut out both of their opponents in last year's tournament. So solid for head coach Denise Lyons, as Brooks will send that ball into the corner, and it will go over the sideline rather than the goal line. So a deep throw-in for Keene State with Krista Ledin giving chase. We'll have 2 substitutes for Keene State with a minute left on the clock. They'll stop the clock with 1:02. We'll see Silogy check out alongside Granada. Shannon Summers is one of the 2 substitutes along with Brittany Tola as the clock is now running. 50 seconds on the throw-in. And it'll be controlled by Peterson. Peterson looking to get around Haley. Haley giving her a bit of a hand check there. It's Stibor. Stibor looking to play it forward for Ledin. Ledin can't get to it, but Garufi picks up the loose ball. Over to Ledin. Ledin working the goal line. Tries to send it back for Kelly. Chance for Garufi. Shot. Crinson with the save off the ball on the ground. What a look there from Erica Garufi as the Beacons, with two great looks. One at the end of regulation, one here in the final minute of the first overtime, but unable to put it by Tori Crenson. Garufi was our player to watch, and she nearly had a chance. Under 10 seconds to play in the first overtime. Peterson is tripped up, and that'll do it for OT number 1. As there's 3 minutes between overtime number 1 and overtime number 2. We'll come back in about a minute and 30. UMass Boston 1. Keene State 1. Haven't seen penalty kicks since 2010 in the Little East Conference Tournament. Who knows if we'll see them today. UMass Boston with a couple of great looks. Keene State continues to pepper Dani Perkins. And this is only game number 1 of 2 that UMass Boston will play against Keene State today. The men's soccer championship will be second today. Let's also not forget that the Keene State women's volleyball team could be taking on the Beacons for a third consecutive season tomorrow afternoon at noon in the Little East Conference Volleyball Championship. The one guarantee, the Keene State field hockey team, the top seed in the Little East Conference, will be hosting the championship game at 2 p.m. as they host second-seeded UMass Dartmouth. And welcome back to the Clark Athletic Center field for overtime number 2. 10 minutes separate these two teams and potential penalty kicks, or one of these two teams might have a golden goal in store for us. Which team can strike first, or will it come down to the goalies in penalty kicks? Marina Kelly boots it towards the Keene State end. Keene State playing their second double overtime session in a matter of 2 days. How much legs does this Keene State team have left? The Beacons were able to rest their players for 20 to 25 minutes in Thursday's win against Eastern Connecticut State because of the 5-1 score. Can the Beacons, with those fresher legs, find a way to down this Keene State side? Stibor playing it forward for Ledin, who's been absolutely silent since scoring that goal with 40 minutes to go. The Beacons with their best looks from Marina Kelly, Erica Garufi, and Amanda Pugliese as Kelly fights for it. Slides, but really has no one in the vicinity. Keene State pushing the ball upfield. Nobody stepping towards it. Finally, Elisa Brooks does. Chance from distance, shot goes wide, as that was a great run from, I believe, Alex Haley, and it was. Elisa Brooks realizing that no one was going to step to the player with the ball. Shannon Summers and Taylor Farland, the only players coming forward with all 4 backs back for UMass Boston, and Brooks a nice job to at least slow down Alex Haley as the Beacons baseball team tries to start a chant. It's Ledin over for Erica Garufi. Ball intercepted by Grayson. Ball sent back into the Beacons' end. Stebor fighting for it with Cassandra Levesque. Summers somehow comes away with it. Ahead for Farland. Peters providing some pressure. Left-footed pass from Farland. No communication there between Farland and Rebecca Costello. And it'll be picked up by Dani Perkins. Perkins, a big boot towards midfield. Kelly can't quite get there. It's controlled by Keene State. That time it was Hart running into her own player in Beverly Cole. Cole picked it up. Cassandra Levesque can't win that one, but it is off of Alex Haley and out of bounds. 7:45 to go in the second overtime of today's Little East Conference Championship game. Marina Kelly backs off trying to avoid the foul. Then she runs over Beverly Cole. No call coming. Ball is loose. Kelly fighting for it. That looked like it went off the hand of a Keene State player. No call. And you got to feel bad for Beverly Cole. She was leveled by Marina Kelly, and the referee let them play on. Taylor Farland nearly upended by Sam Bendick. Now it's Erica Garufi trying to help out, and Hannah Peterson will clear it away. Under 7:15 to play in overtime session number 2. The throw-in just outside the box. The Beacon player falls to the ground. Pass into the near side. Chance. And the shot saved by Perkins. Loose shot. Second save by Perkins. Third save by Perkins. Shot wide. The Beacons somehow still have life as Alex Haley 3 point-blank chances. And Dani Perkins just made up for that miscue in regulation on 3 huge saves. Perkins lying on her side, able to get her paws on all 3 of them. And while Perkins sometimes struggles with the high ball, she made 3 huge saves. 3 saves that any keeper would put on their highlight reel. As Hannah Peterson unable to win that one. It is out of bounds. The question is off of whom, and it will be Keene State who made the last touch. Dani Perkins just earned herself a huge bit of congratulations that the Beacons are able to come away with the victory today, as the senior out of Murrieta, California, just came up with potentially the 3 biggest saves of her Little East Conference career. Remember, the senior did not play in the 2012 championship. That was Kristen Spain. She hasn't played in a postseason game since 2010, made 2 saves on 4 shots on Thursday against Eastern Connecticut State, but she just made 3 season-saving saves for UMass Boston right there, all coming against Haley. Now it's Cassandra Levesque tracking back, trying to come up with the ball. It's controlled by Shannon Hart. Hart cuts back, still working against Levesque. Now it's Beverly Cole in, chance, another save by Perkins. Shannon Summers sends it into the body. Dani Perkins is seeing more work than she would like, but she's standing on her head right now to keep the Beacons in it. 5 minutes and 10 seconds. With the way things have gone, you'd expect Keene State to be the tired team, UMass Boston to be the aggressor, but that has not been the case here in overtime number 2. Dani Perkins has had to make 4 tremendous point-blank saves to keep her team season alive as Krista Ledin brings down a Keene State player. And that's one of the more obvious fouls of the day, as Ledin slipping on this field surface that I can't imagine is too clean. After 2 games in 2 days, multiple heavy rainstorms, and a long season of play here at the Clark Athletic Center field. Ball played into the box, off the head of Bendick, towards the top. Cassandra Levesque with a huge clear. Erica Garufi chasing after it. Garufi's been the best player for UMass Boston outside of Dani Perkins over the last 15 minutes. She plays it ahead for Ledin. Ledin trying to go 1v4. Can she do it? She's got Wilson to beat first. Ledin sends a shot wide of that far post. Had an almost impossible angle and unable to do anything with that one. 4:10 to play right now. The only, and I mean the only good thing if you're a Beacons fan right now about Perkins making all these saves is she's going to have some sky-high confidence heading into penalty kicks if it gets there. Stevor unable to make the play. It's Shannon Summers who just had her potentially game-winning shot saved as Peters will clear that one off of Kaylee Santino and out of bounds. 3:40 to play in the second overtime of the 2014 Little East Conference Championship game. Long throw in from Peterson. Up ahead for Garufi. Can Garufi come up with some magic? Garufi sending it through, looking for Pugliese. Cleared away by Cole. It's high up in the air. Ledin with a header. Ball still loose. Marissa Costello calling for a foul. Ledin has it over to Garufi. Garufi just outside the box. Garufi trying to send it through. Kelly, shot goes wide. UMass Boston with their first real look in the second overtime, and Marina Kelly from point-blank range couldn't send it on target. Would have been a very difficult angle. As now you start to think, do you have your 5 best shooters out there if it goes to penalty kicks? Maybe making a late-game substitution if you don't think you're going to score. You want to have those best shooters, those shooters with the most confidence. The Beacons have been practicing PKs for 2 weeks now, making sure they'll be ready. Krista Ledin's going to be one of those 5. You have to imagine Amanda Pugliese, Erica Garufi. We've already seen 4 of the 5 shooters for Keene State, as that one is off the head of Costello and out of bounds for a corner kick. But still a lot of time to be played. I'm not going to get ahead of myself. 2:25 to go right now in double overtime. It'll be Amanda Pugliese to take it. Does she go short corner with Hannah Peterson as an available option? Does she look for the back post with Elisa Brooks, a lethal target? Who is going to step up right now? 2:10 on the clock as the Keene State men's soccer team makes their first appearance on the pitch. As that's a poor kick from Pugliese. Peters was hoping it would come out a little bit farther, and Cassandra Levesque will play it back in. Cleared right back out towards her as it was Rebecca Costello. Ball played ahead. It's a 1v1 option, and Farland is offsides. Hannah Peterson, one of the fastest players in the Little East Conference, looked like she was behind. Not sure if it was the right call, but it's the call that was made. 1:40 to go right now, as it's Elisa Brooks sending a line drive in, looking for Kelly. Ball bouncing around. It's sent forward by Hart. Peters over to Stebor. Stebor looking to get a turn over to Peters. Kicked right back by Shannon Hart. 1:25 to go. Bendick is out. Bendick sending it over towards the sideline. Can Garufi keep it in? She can. Garufi trying to turn. She's knocked down. It's going to be out of bounds off of Maggie Grayson. No foul there, so it'll go for a throw-in. Throw-in right at midfield. 1:11 on the clock. 1:11 from penalty kicks here. And the clock will stay stopped, and they're going to give the Beacons a free kick. That's a late call. And now it looks like Kara Peters may be bleeding. No, that's Krista Ledin, number 12. And Krista Ledin recognizing 71 seconds left in my collegiate career. I don't care. I'm staying on the pitch. The ball played towards the top of the box. Brooks can't get ahead on it. And the ball will be picked up by Shannon Summers. Summers sends a pass to the near side for Beverly Cole. Cole making a long run, able to keep it inbounds. Cassandra Levesque fighting for it. Under a minute to play. Levesque working against Taylor Farland. Freshman versus freshman. Farland looking to slow it down, trying to let her team catch up to her. She finally loses it to Marina Kelly. Kelly's clear, not a good one. Beverly Cole, left-footed shot, picked up by Perkins. And we'll get a slow stoppage in play as Perkins will look to release it. Sends a boot up. 35 seconds remaining. That one is off the head of Rebecca Costello. It's Levesque getting in there. Levesque sending it off the body of Haley. Haley sending it through. Bendick with the header. And it's over to Cassandra Levesque. Can either side get one last chance? Pugliese sending it through for Ledin. Ledin able to get the touch, but Erica Garufi not there as Keene State had all 4 players back around Ledin. Now it's Bendick. Bendick looking to clear. 10 seconds to go. Drilled right back into the Beacon's end. Peters sending it forward for Ledin. Down to 5 seconds. Ledin, can she get a shot off? She does. Krenson will watch it go wide. And folks, we're heading to penalty kicks. Both the most exciting, the most exhilarating, and the scariest, if you're a fan, thing to watch in soccer. The beautiful game comes down to 1v1. Keene State with their best 5 options out there. UMass Boston with their best 5 options. As it'll be Dani Perkins in net for the Beacons. Tori Krenson for Keene State. What an exciting championship game we've had for you today on LittleEast.tv. UMass Boston scored the first goal of the game. It was Krista Ledin. Ledin scoring in the 50th minute to give the Beacons a 1-0 lead off a pass from Marina Kelly. Taylor Farland scoring with under 7 minutes to play to give Keene State a 1-1 tie. UMass Boston had their chances. Amanda Pugliese, late in regulation, put a shot right into the hands of Tori Crenson. Marina Kelly sent a shot just wide in double overtime. Shannon Summers and Alex Haley had multiple point-blank chances in double overtime, but none of them went in thanks to Dani Perkins. The winner of today's game will play in the NCAA Division III tournament and earn the Little East Conference bid to next week's NCAA tournament. You can find out who will be playing and where they'll be playing at 1 p.m. on NCAA.com in the NCAA Selection Show. These are some tense moments to be sure. Looking at Keene State, we can give you an idea of who may be shooting for the Owls based off of their game against Western Connecticut State. In that game against Western Connecticut State, the first player up was Katie Silligi. Silligi scored. The second player, Beverly Cole, she scored. The third one, Kelly Santino, she scored. The only player not to score, Morgan Cathan. And while Keene State didn't get a fifth shooter up there, they didn't need it, you have to expect that that fifth player would be Taylor Farland. For UMass Boston, you got to go with your big guns. Krista Ledin, she's taken 5 of them in her career. She'll be one of the options. Amanda Pugliese, have to expect that the sharpshooter would be one as well. As would Erica Garufi. Who are options 4 and 5? Do you put out a true freshman in Marina Kelly? Do you put out Hannah Peterson, the former all-conference forward at Plymouth who's playing as a back? The 5 Keene players are out there. Beverly Cole, the only player with her back to us. We can tell you she's one of the 5. Looking at Keene State and those players. Cathan 1 for 1 on the season. As Tori Crenson is already set up on the far side of the pitch. It looks like UMass Boston will be going first. Crenson, the senior out of North Salem, New York. Perkins, the senior out of Murrieta, California. UMass Boston the white, Keene State in the red, both goalies sporting yellow tops. Dani Perkins in the yellow shorts, Tori Crenson in the black bottoms. Crenson has stopped 2 penalty kick shots this season, had 2 more go wide, and has allowed 1 penalty kick goal. The Beacons have Natasha Stebor, Hannah Peterson, looks like Sam Bendick, Krista Ledin, and you'd have to imagine either Amanda Pugliese or Erica Garufi out there. And no surprise, it's Krista Ledin going first. You send out your best shooter either first or fifth. The Beacons going with the thought process that it might not always get to the fifth. Cristiano Ronaldo in Portugal has struggled with that fact on multiple occasions. Keene State men's soccer team is on the other side of the pitch. The Beacons men's soccer team huddling in around the mass of fans, as it will be Ledin. 4 for 5 for her career, 2 for 3 on the season. She loves going to the far post, just on the ground. We'll see if she does so again. Ledin to the near side, and she scores a line drive goal, and the Beacons lead 1-0 in penalty kicks. It'll be Katie Silligi. Dani Perkins has studied these Keene State players. She's watched the tape of the game against Western Connecticut State multiple times, knows where each of these players went. Will Keene State elect to go to the same places, or like Krista Ledin, decide to go in another way? It'll be Silligi. Silligi shot just over the hand of Perkins, and we're even at 1. Both players going to the near post. Both players rising up. Perkins picked the right side, but unable to do so. It'll be Erica Garufi, the senior out of Milton, Massachusetts, a member of the 2012 America East champion Stony Brook Seawolves, trying to help her team stay ahead in penalty kicks. Garufi with her first penalty kick option. Such a crafty player. 8 goals on the season. Crenson taking a couple steps. Garufi really taking her time. The senior stutter stepping her way. Very slowly. Shot near side off the post and just misses back to the near side. And the Beacons trail. Or the Beacons missed their first one. And it's Beverly Cole. Garufi had Crenson stuck in her shoes, but pinged it off the near post. And we're still tied at 1 as Beverly Cole will step up. Cole, the senior out of Madbury, New Hampshire, in her second season as a Keene State Owl. She's a lefty, a diminutive little player. We'll see which way she elects to go. Waiting for the referee's whistle. Odierna signals. And Cole with the left foot. And she fools Perkins on that one, and it's 2-1 KSC. That'll be Natasha Stebor now for UMass Boston, looking to even this one up. Stebor, the junior out of San Francisco, California, in her first year as a Beacon. Stebor nearly scored in the first half. Hasn't scored in 8 games. Which way will she go? Stebor running up. Left-footed shot over the bar. And the Beacons are going to need some help from Keene State. Garufi pinged it off the post. Stebor just over the bar. And now Keene State, just as they did against Western Connecticut State, holds a big lead in penalty kicks. Perkins will hand it over. Trying to get the number on this player. That's the whistle. Shot, big save from Perkins. She robs Kaylee Santino, who made it on Thursday, and the Beacons have life. Keene State leads 2-1 through 3 shooters. Hannah Peterson, the happy-go-lucky freshman, will skip her way out to the mark. Peterson desperately needs to make this one to put the pressure back on Keene State. A couple of bounces. Peterson with 1 collegiate goal. Hasn't had many opportunities as a back over the past 15 games, but a true goal scorer. Couple more skips, runs up, her shot fools Tori Crenson, and we're tied at 2. That's some chutzpah out of Hannah Peterson right there. So confident. It'll be Morgan Cathan. Cathan, the only player who did not score in the penalty kicks for Keene State, has a chance to give her team a big 3-2 lead here after 4 shooters. Perkins with 1 save. Tori Crenson is yet to make a save, but the Beacons have sent 1 shot off a post and 1 shot over the bar. Cathan, a true freshman out of Ludlow, Vermont. 2 goals on the season. Waiting for the whistle. Her run-up. Shot. Perkins almost made the save, and at the last second seemed to be confused. And she is clearly disappointed, and now it comes up to Sam Bendick. An interesting decision by the Beacons coaching staff. Bendick, a former midfielder, a 2-year back, and it's up to Bendick to keep this one alive. 2 career goals, has just 4 shots this season, and it's up to the junior from New Egypt, New Jersey. Beacons trailing by a goal. They shot first, so Bendick needs to hit this one to keep it going. Bendick's shot just by the hand of Crenson, and it all comes down to this. Dani Perkins needs to either make a save or have this shot go high, wide, off the bar, up in the air, who knows which way. If Keene State hits this one, it's over. And it looks like it's Maggie Grayson. Interesting. Taylor Farland amongst the top 5 scorers in the East Conference, and she's not the one taking it. It's Grayson, the senior out of Sugar Hill, Georgia, former Division II player, What can Grayson do? 1 goal on the season, 21 shots. Senior versus senior. Odierna taking his time on the whistle. Perkins is still. Odierna blows the whistle. Shot from Grayson just by the hands of Perkins, and Keene State College is your 2014 Little East Conference Tournament champion. Back-to-back titles for the Owls as they rush the field, and you see a couple of Beacons racing towards Dani Perkins, who has her head sunk down. Without Dani Perkins, UMass Boston would never have made it into this penalty kick shootout. As the Beacons huddle around Perkins, Denise Lyons, after so many disappointments, will be coming up here shortly after celebrating her teams to talk about this championship. A heartbreaking loss for the Beacons, a huge win for Keene State College as they advance thanks to a 4-3 victory in PKs. See it there? 4-3 in penalty kicks. Erica Garufi tabbed the post. Natasha Stibor sent it high. As we'll have the Little East Conference Championship presentation in just a second, and then we'll talk to Denise Lyons. The second championship game clearly won't be starting at 1:30. We'll get a start time for you when we get it. And welcome back as we go over the most outstanding player of the tournament. Obviously, several great options as Keene State College, for the second consecutive game, wins by way of penalty kicks. For the second consecutive penalty kick outing, the opponent misses 2 penalty kicks without Tori Crenson having to make a save as UMass Boston falls on their home field 4-3 in penalty kicks after an exhilarating Little East Conference Tournament Championship game. About to start the trophy presentation. The Beacons will be honored with their co-regular season title trophy. Keene State will hoist the conference tournament championship, and then we'll have head coach Denise Lyons in her 23rd season. Take a brief break, bring you the final stats from today's game, and then we'll wait on Denise as the Owls have won their 4th championship in 12 tries and 12 trips to the Little East Conference Tournament Championship game. Joined by Keene State senior Kate Piersack. Kate, it was a game that you guys looked like you had won in double overtime, a couple of point-blank chances, but you had your senior goalie in net, so much confidence in her after Thursday. She
Absolutely.
didn't need to make a save. What is this feeling like, back-to-back championships? Keene's made it a lot in the Little East Conference, not always come out on the positive sides, but back-to-back titles your junior and senior seasons.
It's absolutely incredible. It's definitely – I love having Tori back there. I love having our back line together, our midfield and our forwards. It's definitely a team effort, and that's how we got here today. We were told it's a rebuilding year, and we just want to come out this year and prove to everybody that we're still strong. Even if we lose the seniors, we gain the freshmen, we still have the players on the field through every position, every line, from goalie to offense, and it's just we couldn't have done it without every single person on that field.
Last year, you were the 2 seed, and you got to play on your home field in the championship game against an Eastern Connecticut State team without a goalie, at least a goalie who had played there before. This year, you go through the grinder at the top seed, at the number 2 seed, teams that had played you really tough in the regular season. How does this year compare to last year, just with going to PKs, back-to-back games, and so many difficult opponents?
It's definitely a lot more challenging this year. Not having home field advantage is definitely tougher. You're traveling on the road. You have to wake up earlier and get on the bus. But we forget about that part, and we think about what we did well in the season, what we have to do well in the playoffs, and just what our strengths are, and we got to focus on those. And that's definitely what overcoming our challenges was this year, and having to focus completely on that aspect and not thinking about like the size of the field or the weather or whatever's going wrong. It's just every little bit is just what's making us stronger.
Penalty kicks, one of the most difficult things to go through as the player taking them, the goalie. What's going through your mind, the seniors' minds, right before that? 6 seniors on your side, 6 seniors on UMass Boston.
Literally, just as a senior, give it your all. This is your last shot, your last chance, could potentially be your last game. Just lay your body out there, give it your all, go hard to the wall. It's unreal being a senior out there, and just it's mind-numbing. I don't even know what to think. I black out. It's unreal. And having gone through penalty kicks at Western and now here at Boston, it's just we want to stay in regulation time now. It's tiring.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
2014
Really
Little East
appreciate
Conference Most Outstanding Player. We'll bring in the head coach now, Denise Lyons. As Kate Piersack, a tremendous job. I'm sure Denise Lyons will bring us the same one.
Yep.
Coach, your 12th tournament championship game since joining the Little East. You haven't always been on the positive side, back-to-back championships. This one, very difficult, going up against one of your mentees and just going through the grinders we talked about with Kate. What are the emotions after pulling it out? I mean, Dani Perkins made that great save. It looked like UMass Boston might find their way back in, but just tremendous composure from your team all day long.
Yeah, I mean, we worked hard. We knew we'd have to play hard for 90 minutes in order to get a win. I mean, UMass Boston, a very strong team, very well coached. Amy Zombeck, a former player of mine, and just an unbelievable coach. They're very organised. And we knew with Krista Ledin, I mean, one of the best players in the country. I mean, we knew we had our work cut out for us, but I think I'm very proud my team fought hard for the 90 minutes and we came out with a win, plus the overtime.
Soccer is one of those difficult sports where you don't have a timeout to regain your composure after giving up a goal. What were you telling the players you were sending out there, or yelling towards the players who were close to the bench after giving up that goal? You were down for 30 minutes and that huge goal from Taylor Farland in the final 10.
Yeah, I mean, I told them just keep going. The game's far from over. I mean, it's not over to the final whistle, and we've come back from behind, I think 4 or 5 times this year from a goal behind. And I said, just keep playing. It's not over until the final whistle, and go out there, leave it all on the field. I said, just leave it out there. You know, if we get if they win, it's not because we didn't play hard, because they were the better team on the day. And I think it was a very even match game, and I'm just really happy that we came out with the best top side of it.
I talked to Kate about how last year compares to this year. Where does this tournament championship rank amongst your 4 tournament titles?
And it's the emotions right now are just unbelievable. I mean, we lost 18 as last year, and 6 of them were starters. So everybody was saying it's a rebuilding year. So when we were selected to win, to be number 1 this year, and they're like, what are the coaches thinking? We've got a whole new lineup. But I think, you know, with the freshmen that came in were very good, very impact. Three of the penalty kickers were freshmen. I mean, with such a seasoned group, I selected 3 freshmen to take those kicks, because in practice we worked on it and we were well prepared for it. So it's great. It's an all-around team effort today.
Thanks so much for your time, Coach. Congratulations on the
Thank you
win.
very much.
Keene State got a win last year in the NCAA tournament. We'll see if they can represent the Little East with yet another one this year, maybe a bit further. That'll do it for us for game number 1. Game number 2 of our doubleheader starts in just a few minutes here between the Keene State men's team and the Keene State and the UMass Boston men's team, around 1:45 start.